My teammates are all crazy. Chapter 152 to Chapter 160. Jingyu originally wanted to close his eyes and rest for a while, but he didn't expect that he would actually fall asleep. He slept all the way until dinner time. When he woke up, he found out that Feng Luofan wanted to have a meeting more than an hour ago, but Qin Fei rejected him with the reason that he was asleep. Jingyu looked at Qin Fei helplessly. You should have woken me up. Qin Fei didn't care. You're awake now, aren't you? After a pause, he changed his clothes and said, It's okay, we can have the meeting after dinner. There's still time. After dinner, PG and the other four gathered in Feng Luofan's room again. At this time, the teams that advanced to the semi-finals were all confirmed. There were 4 teams in total. One was Xed from Country D, and the other was God from Country M. The other 2 teams were PG and BALC. BALC is still alive? Luo Yiming shouted, but Feng Luofan glared at him. Feng Luofan grabbed Luo Yiming and lectured him. Then he said some words of encouragement to PG and the other 4 before finally getting to the point. I won't say much about BALC, I'll talk about Xed and God. As soon as he finished, Qin Fei yawned. You're getting more and more long-winded. Feng Luofan. Didn't I get to the point? Shut up and listen to me. Qin Fei, oh. It was no wonder that Feng Luofan became so long-winded. After all, it was the first time for PG and the other 4 to participate in the International Invitational Tournament, and it was also the first time for him. He had the mentality of just try your best in the first International Invitational Tournament. He watched PG go all the way to the semi-finals and suddenly had an idea about the champion of the International Invitational Tournament. Now that he had an idea, wouldn't his mentality change? Feng Luofan was now more nervous than PG and the other 4. I'll talk about Xed first. As he spoke, he opened the video file that he had prepared beforehand and played it for the 5 of them on his laptop. Xed's lineup is not as surprising as Seven's, but the players' performances are quite surprising. When he said this, the scene of Xed's mid laner getting 3 kills was broadcasted. In this round, Xed walked with a blood carp and crouched in the bushes between the enemy's first and second towers. The moment the enemy's mid laner came back after healing, he used a combo and killed him directly. 1 kill, the enemy's jungler came to grab him. His displacement and 1 skill hit him consecutively. Xed's blood carp's health instantly dropped to a critical level. Then, he started to zigzag, dodging a few normal attacks. He turned around and used a whirlpool to control the opponent. He didn't escape to his own tower, but to the enemy's jungle. Not long after, the jungler respawned and used his displacement skill. Just as he was about to take Blood Carp's head, Blood Carp flashed in the opposite direction and dodged the attack. Then, he used his newly respawned skill to perform a combo that did not contain any ultimate skills and killed the jungler instead, double kill. At this time, Blood Carp only had a sliver of HP left. He was in the enemy's jungle, so the enemy's archer couldn't just sit there and watch. Blood Carp crouched in the bushes nearby. When the archer rushed over, he attacked first. He controlled the archer and dealt damage. He instantly killed the archer and escaped to the middle lane. The archer hesitated for a moment and decided to chase after Blood Carp, who only had a sliver of HP left. However, just as he reached the middle lane, Blood Carp used his ultimates. He turned around and killed the archer. Triple kill, just like that, Blood Carp single-handedly completed a triple kill in the enemy's jungle and survived. After he killed the enemy archer, he directly teleported back to the city. Feng Luofan, Xed didn't play very fiercely, but they didn't back down at all. They used fancy escape skills, but they were still at ease in the enemy's jungle. They didn't panic at all and constantly looked for opportunities to counterattack. This was Xed. Feng Luofan, they're very patient. It looks like the enemy is chasing after them, but they're actually running away from the enemy. To be honest, from a style point of view, their style is quite bad for us. However, the 5 PG players had different opinions. Luo Yiming, that can't be right. Is the enemy's archer poisonous? What's the point of going up when he's only at a sliver of HP? Jingyu, the enemy jungler's prediction is bad. His hit rate is too low. Yi Hong said, Blood Carp squatted in a rather tricky position at the beginning, but I think that when his combo comes, there's still a chance for him to escape. Fang Luofan's face darkened. I told you to pay attention to Xed. Who told you to complain about their opponents? Qin Fei didn't care. It's not good to boost their morale and diminish our own. Fang Luofan was about to vomit blood. Where was his dignity as a coach? However, for the championship, no matter how much he vomited blood, he could only continue his analysis. In short, you have to be very careful when fighting against Xed. Don't get too excited when you're at low health. I've sent the video to the group. You can watch it later and ask me if you have any questions. Then I'll focus on God. This team is really strong. As Fang Luofan spoke, he opened God's video. This team's specialty is that they're hard to catch. Jingyu looked at God's lineup on the screen. Almost all of them were demons with high health and defense. They were comparable to MY in China. However, they were better than MY in that their mid laner was also a tank. 4 tanks and 1 archer. It was obviously a 4-to-1 strategy. Fang Luofan, their archer is very strong, stronger than Kid. They're also a team that relies on archers to carry the team. Compared to Kid, they don't have many archers, but they're very strong. Once they develop, if we can't kill them before the team starts, then the team will be wiped out by him alone. Sure enough, on the screen, after the opponent's jungler flashed and dodged by God's archer, the situation was simply one-sided. God's archer first killed the jungler, then followed behind his teammates and attacked crazily. He killed the enemy's top laner, mage, support, and archer one after another. It was too easy to get these 5 kills. Jingyu frowned and began to think if it was him, would it be possible to kill the archer just now? The result was that he couldn't kill him. However, it had nothing to do with the skill. It was because God's archer's economy was too high. Jingyu, why is his economy so high? Because his teammates went on a hunger strike. Fang Luofan replied, the jungler and support went on a hunger strike and gave all their economy to the archer. They let him max level and equipment in the middle of the game, then lead the team alone and win. Jingyu said, so you're saying that you're betting the entire game on the archer? Fang Luofan, yes. Luo Yiming, damn, they can do that? Yi Heng. His teammates are so pitiful. Han Leng, you can't say that, it's all tactics. Qin Fei, what should we do? Fang Luofan, there are 2 ways. One is that we use the same tactics to ensure the archer's development. But this way, it'll be equivalent to a battle between 2 archers, and the other positions will be useless in the early game. The other way is to destroy the enemy's top laner and mid laner before their archer develops. Qin Fei, I choose the second way. Yi Heng, me too. Han Leng, me too. Luo Yiming blinked. He couldn't decide which way was better, so he didn't say anything. After a short silence, Jingyu said calmly, let's see how it goes. If the lineup allows, we'll choose the second way. But we still have to be prepared to use the first way. Have fun, that was PG's slogan. But for Jingyu, it was meaningless if they didn't win the championship. The next morning, the semifinals began. Before the game started, PG's 5 players were thinking about how to play against God. In the end, they were matched against Xed. Huh? Luo Yiming was surprised when he saw this team. He immediately reacted. So BALC's opponent is God? Yes. Yi Heng replied, I hope BALC can win. I don't want to play against God at all. You make it sound like we're definitely going to win. Qin Fei sneered. Don't worry about them, we'll play our own game. Yi Heng. Okay. Since it was confirmed that their opponent in the semifinals was Xed, the 5 of them had to adjust their tactics and prepare to face Xed. Jingyu, the opponent's mid laner, is very good at positioning, especially the demon with control skills. He's very good at counterattacking, so we have to consider banning Soul, Bloodcarp, Scarlet Fury, and Heijiao. Luo Yiming, 4? Can't we only ban 3? Yi Heng, little Jingyu said that we'll consider banning them. Let's see how this game goes. We'll make the first move. As they spoke, the 2 sides threw the dice. The results were out quickly. PG's blue team made the first move. A ban couldn't help but laugh. PG's team is really amazing. They're always unlucky in the early stages of the game and always get the last move. But in the later stages, their luck suddenly explodes and they always get the first move. Tangua, ha ha ha, I hope their performance can go hand in hand with their luck. Aban, PG's opponent for this round is Xed. I saw the screen recording of this team's last game. They're really good. After their HP was low, they ran away from the opponent all over the map. They just didn't die. Tangua, not only did they not die, they even counterattacked. Aban, yes. However, BALC's opponent for this round is also very strong. It's God from Country M. At this point in the International Invitational Tournament, some people are already saying that their archer is the best archer in the world. Tangua, wow, really? Isn't this title a bit too amazing? Aban, I don't know if he's the best archer in the world, but after watching the previous games, I think his Dark Cupid and Wind of Condensation are indeed the best in the world. Tangua, looks like PG and BALC will have a hard time in today's semifinals. While the two were talking, PG's first ban was given to Blood Carp. It was because Xed's mid laner had gotten 3 kills in Blood Carp's jungle in the last game. Xed hesitated for a while before giving their first ban to Realm God. Immortal and Realm God probably still can't be released. Let's see what they choose for their third ban. Jingyu said as he banned Scarlet Fury. Xed immediately banned Nine-Tailed Fox. Yi Hong raised his eyebrows. Flick Shadow was released? He said as he banned Soul. He decided that he was going to steal Heijiao. However, Xed gave their last ban to Flick Shadow. PG's players? The commentators and audience. Yi Hong, wait. Did I see wrong? What were their 3 bans again? Hanlang, Realm God, Nine-Tailed Fox, Flick Shadow. Yi Hong, F***CK. Luo Yiming, what the F***CK? The undead had been released, then, there was no need to hesitate. PG's first ban was the Immortal. Jingyu was a little confused. Why did they release the Immortal? First game, they want to take a gamble. Qin Fei guessed and couldn't help but laugh. I haven't used the Immortal even once, but that doesn't mean I don't know how to use it. Yi Hong bitterly lamented, Xed is looking for trouble. Knows what why you try. Hanleng, Brother Fei is going to carry them in this game. PG's guess was right. Releasing the Immortal was indeed a big gamble for Xed. They thought that if they banned the Immortal, they would have one less banned spot. In a situation where the opponent was a PG, the threat of Nine-Tailed Fox and Fleeting Shadow was no less than that of the Undying. However, Nine-Tailed Fox and Flick Shadow were both banned by PG. As for the Immortal, PG hadn't gotten it yet. So, they decided to take a gamble and see if PG's first ban would be the Immortal. If it wasn't, then the Immortal would be theirs. Even if it was worth a gamble to see how much of a threat PG's Immortal could pose to them. Also, if PG locked the Immortal, they would be able to get Heijiao. It wouldn't be too much of a loss. Although PG had the right to pick the monsters first, they could only pick one monster. So, if PG chose the Immortal, they would have to give up Heijiao. However, PG couldn't be any more optimistic about this result. Yi Hong, we won. Luo Yiming, yes, we won. Hanleng, we already won, what's the point of fighting? Jingyu, Seeing Jingyu's disapproving look, Yi Hong couldn't help but laugh. Little Jingyu, your brother Fei's Immortal is fighting 1 against 5. There's nothing for us to do. Jingyu coughed and reminded him seriously, you can say whatever you want, but you still have to play seriously. Of course. So, Yi Hong smiled slyly. Why don't you say something too? Luo Yiming, yes. Our words don't count, Jingyu's words count. What do you mean by count? Jingyu looked at the two of them helplessly, but in the end, he satisfied them. I'm going to get the Heart of Ice. Don't stop me. My Heart of Ice is #1 in the world. If you don't like it, come fight me, Yi Hong, ha ha ha. It's going to be great. Hanleng, we're definitely going to win this time. Qin Fei looked at Jingyu's side profile and couldn't help but chuckle. He said casually, I'll carry this game. He said it very casually. It was more like a joke than a promise, but his teammates didn't question the credibility of his words. After Xed locked onto Heijiao and Dark Cupid, PG immediately locked onto Heart of Ice and Kamal. Xed locked onto Kwanggu and Sword Burial, who should be their top laner and jungler. Then, PG locked onto Maha and Golan in the last two positions. Tanghua, huh? Is PG planning to use a speed change composition in the bottom lane? Is Kamal the mid laner? A ban, it's obvious. Yezi's card pool is getting deeper and deeper. Yesterday he used Wanmi Liuhua, today he used Kamal. The demons he can use are not limited to mages. Tanghua, Xed's jungler used Sword Burial in this game. It's been a long time. It's amazing. Sword Burial is obviously the #1 jungler in this version, but foreign teams rarely use him as a jungler. A ban, because compared to assassins, Sword Burial's movement speed isn't fast enough, and his skill damage isn't high enough. He's not as good as assassins when it comes to chasing down low health. Assassins pursue explosive damage, similar to mages. Sword Burial is a warrior, and he pursues continuous damage like archers. Teams from different countries have different definitions of junglers, so it's normal for them to use different demons. Tanghua, I see. In the end, PG and Xed's lineup for the first game was PG, Undead, Kamal, Maha, Golan, Heart of Ice Xed, Kwanggu, Heijiao, Dark Cupid, Flower in the Mirror, Sword Burial. All the fans who supported PG, just by looking at this lineup, could imagine what kind of carnage would happen in the top lane. Qin Fei, was that someone who could make him use Undead? Qin Fei used Undead, and his power was comparable to Thor using a hammer. No, it was much more terrifying than that. Sure enough, Xed's top laner Kwanggu, the most tanky demon in the whole world, was crippled by Qin Fei's Undead at the beginning of the game. He shrunk under the tower and missed a bunch of minions to avoid the attack. He didn't give up, and after finishing a wave of minions, he retreated to the back of the tower and wanted to return to the city. He didn't expect that as soon as he clicked on the return button, before the progress bar started to move, he was hit by a cold light. After Jingyu's Heart of Ice helped Yihong get mana in the Xianxia area, he immediately rushed to the back of the enemy's top lane tower, as if he already knew that Kwanggu would be suppressed. He was fragile, and he didn't dare to kill Kwanggu when he was only level 1, so his purpose was only to interrupt Kwanggu's return to the city progress bar and prevent him from returning to the city. After successfully interrupting, Jingyu turned and left, letting his Heart of Ice leisurely float to his own Xianxia area and start farming. At this time it was too late for Kwanggu to return to the city. The second wave of minions came, and Qin Fei's Undead killed all the minions at the fastest speed and followed the minions into the tower. Kwanggu flashed and wanted to escape, but Qin Fei flashed and caught up with him. Kwanggu died, and the first blood was born. System, the Undead, 1 kill. System, the enemy Kwanggu has died. It was too easy to get this kill. Qin Fei couldn't help but click his tongue. The Undead are really brainless. If they don't cut me in the next season, I'll write my name backwards. Yihong didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You've said that before. Hanleng also laughed. You say it as if you're the one fighting the Undead. Don't act like you're the one who got the upper hand, okay? You'll get beaten up. It's okay, Qin Fei said calmly. They can't beat me. 5 minutes later, Qin Fei was the first to reach level 6, and he had a big skill. He decisively killed the enemy Kwanggu. Jingyu's Heart of Ice arrived, and together, the two of them took down the enemy's top lane tower, and then went to the Xianxia area to fight. Tanghua, it's coming, the PG's Xianxia joint attack. A ban, ha ha ha, it's so comfortable to fight with the Undead. Tanghua, yeah, Jingyu is very comfortable. A ban, with Qin Fei's Undead, the enemy junglers don't dare to get close at all. Tanghua, yeah, live comments. Frowny face. Tanghua is very excited today? Hey, don't go. I think so too. Although Afei is also quite excited, I can read different things from their tone. Manual dog head, ha 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 ha. I think I know what Tanghua is excited about, but I can't say it. Ever since Qin Fei accompanied Jingyu to the interview yesterday and left holding his hand, Tanghua became abnormally excited. In the past, when the two of them commentated PG matches, Aban was always in charge of cheering for Jingyu, and Tanghua was in charge of maintaining her rationality and supplementing the commentary content from the perspective of the other team. But now, it was unknown whether it was because they were supporting the same team, but Sweets had started to become even more irrational than Ahaf. Their commentary no longer complemented each other, but became both excited and high together. Aban, Jingyu's triple kill in the bottom lane. No one can stop his heart of ice anymore. Tanghua, Brother Fei is late, ha ha ha. Jingyu's hand speed is skyrocketing, and he doesn't need his protection at all. Aban, it's time to start the team. Jingyu went behind and killed the enemy archer, followed by the mage, support, and top laner. Ah. Quadruple kill. Jingyu's quadruple kill. Tanghua, Brother Fei helped Jingyu block Sword Burial's big move and killed Sword Burial with low HP. Aha. These two are too cool. Aban, Jingyu's awesome. Tanghua, Brother Fei's awesome. Listening to the two of them excitedly commentating, the bullet screen was filled with HHHHH, frowny face, I'm dying of laughter. Where are the commentators? I only see a pair of fanboys and fangirls. I'm dying of laughter listening to this commentary. Do they not need money to brag? I didn't want to laugh, but when I saw the bullet screen filled with ha 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 ha, I couldn't help but ha 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 ha. I just want to know how my Li Yan is doing. My Li Yan doesn't deserve to be named in the semifinals? When Aban and Tanghua saw the bullet screen, they remembered that Ball C was also competing. They quickly switched the live stream to Ball C and God's match, only to find that Tanghua frowned. Li Yan didn't get a single kill? How is that possible? Aban's expression froze. God's archer's economy is too scary. It's more than 3,000 renminbi than Ball C. There's no way they can win. On the screen, Ball C's flower in the mirror successfully crowd-controlled God's archer. Li Yan's Moonshade Spider immediately rushed forward to attack, but because it was 2 levels lower, it couldn't kill God's archer in one shot. After the crowd control was released, the archer easily killed it. Not only did he die, but Flower in the Mirror, who had full HP, was also killed by the enemy archer's arrow before it could use flash. The critical damage that floated up was terrifying. Seeing this scene, the relaxed atmosphere instantly turned solemn. After a moment of silence, Aban frowned. Ball C is going to lose this round. Let's see how they deal with this. The match between Bal C and God ended in less than 20 minutes. Once God's marksmen were fully developed, Bal C's 5 players were no match for God at all. In the end, God didn't even get a magic dragon. He destroyed Bal C's 3 towers in the middle lane, destroyed their territory, and won the first game. As for PG's side, after Xed was wiped out by 0 for 5, they quickly got a Mystic Dragon. With the help of the Mystic Dragon army, they successfully destroyed all of Xed's towers in the middle lane and won the first round at 25 minutes. Qin Fei's Immortal had 18 kills, 2 deaths, and 10 assists. It was a very brutal game. Hanlong couldn't help but sigh, alright, after this game, the Immortal won't be able to get banned. Yi Hong replied, but they'll go first in the next game. Won't the Immortal be left for us to ban? Jingyu looked at Qin Fei, should we ban him? He felt that with Qin Fei's ability, he could easily go up against the Immortal. However, Qin Fei raised his eyebrows after hearing this sentence. What do you mean by ban? Of course we should ban him. Jingyu was confused, you're afraid of the Immortal too? Qin Fei was silent for a moment, I think you have a filter for me. He paused and added, very thick. Jingyu. I can't even refute that. The other team members heard this and sighed in unison. Yi Hong sighed, sigh, here we go again. Hanlong sighed, sigh, you're showing off your love again. Luo Yiming sighed, sigh, are you two done yet? Jingyu said innocently, I didn't say anything. Qin Fei simply said, single people see PDA everywhere. You guys should go find a girlfriend so you don't talk about it all the time. He paused, you can find a boyfriend too. Luo Yiming, F***ck off, I'm straight. Yi Hong, tisk, what's the rush? We're still young. Hanlong, that's right, it's better to have nothing than to have something substandard, understand? Really? After a short intermission, the 4 teams quickly began the second round of the competition. Since Xed had lost the first round, they were the first to start the second round. They gave fleeting shadow to the first ban. This was completely within PG's expectations. They are very afraid of being caught. Perhaps we can snatch the sword burial, Jingyu said, banning the realm god. After some hesitation, Xed's second ban was given to Nine-Tailed Fox. Yi Hong raised his eyebrows. Their singles are so good. I thought they would use Nine-Tailed Fox. Jingyu, the enemy's mid laner, is good at positioning and waiting for an opportunity to counterattack, so he needs demons with strong survivability. Nine-Tailed Fox's burst damage is high, but it will die upon contact, so it doesn't suit his playstyle. Yi Hong, that's true. While the two were talking, they banned Scarlet Fury and left the Undying for last. Luo Yiming looked at Scarlet Fury and was a little confused. Not banning Blood Carp? Yi Hong explained, the enemy's mid laner's Blood Carp is good, but Scarlet Fury can't be bad if he can play Blood Carp like that. Scarlet Fury's mid laner is more advantageous, so it's better to give Blood Carp to the enemy. It was Xed's turn to choose their last ban. PG hoped that they could ban the Undying. That way, Xed would have one less ban and they would have one more ban. Unfortunately, after Xed suffered a loss to the Undying, not only did their IQ not decrease, but it also increased. They gave the third ban to Moonshade Spider. There was no other way. PG could only ban the Undying for the last ban. Then, Xed's first ban was Blood Carp. Yi Hong, Blood Carp is really a mid laner? Then what should I choose? Jingyu, wait a moment. We'll grab the archer first, and then grab sword burial. On PG's side, they locked onto Dark Cupid and buried sword. A archer and a top laner, both of them had displacement. Isn't Xed good at sneaking away? We all have displacement demons, let's see how you can sneak away. Obviously, Xed had discovered PG's strategy and couldn't choose their second and third positions. At the moment when the countdown was about to end, they finally chose Satan and Wind of Condensation, a top laner with acceleration skills, and an archer with displacement skills. Seeing this lineup, Aban's eyes lit up. This round, PG and Xed's demons are very flexible. I feel like it'll be very confusing. It was PG's turn again. They decisively chose Heijiao and Bladeless Man. Then, Xed's last two positions were Azrael and Flower in the Mirror. Azrael? Luo Yiming thought he saw wrong. He carefully checked Xed's lineup and confirmed that he saw two warrior-type demons. Satan and Azrael, who's the top laner and who's the jungler? Normally, Satan is the jungler, Qin Fei said. He paused and added, but if it's Xed, it's hard to say. Yi Hong, it's been a long time since someone used Azrael as a jungler. Azrael used to be a strong top laner in this version. However, after the Undying appeared, his presence became weaker and fewer people used him. When Jingyu first joined PG, Azrael's jungler was quite popular. He also practiced for a while, but he was not used to it. The main reason was that Azrael did not have a displacement skill. He was not flexible enough as a jungler. He was a pure warrior type, the kind that fought head-on. He was not like Sword Burial, who could pretend to be an assassin and sneak attack. He was quite suitable for junglers like Qin Fei. PG's last support position was Soul. At this point, both sides' lineups for the second round were decided: PG, Sword Burial, Heijiao, Dark Cupid, Soul, Bladeless Man Xed, Satan, Blood Carp, Wind of Condensation, Flower in the Mirror, Azrael in the tense countdown. Both sides used the time to exchange monsters. Then, the moment before entering the battlefield, Jingyu saw Azrael on the other side bring retribution. It was really Azrael's jungler. In this round, both sides' monsters were very flexible. However, the opponent's jungler chose Azrael, who did not have a displacement skill. Jingyu suddenly realized something. He's going to be countered. Sure enough, in the first 5 minutes, Azrael did not gank even once. Jingyu discovered him several times in his own jungle. Again? Jingyu saw Azrael in his own jungle for the third time. He really admired his courage. If I don't kill him once, he'll really think I'm just a pretty face? Jingyu had his Bladeless Man dig into the ground in advance. Then, when Azrael was about to kill the Green Goblin, he dug out and used Retribution. He got the buff that increased his attack speed, at this time, the match had reached the 5th minute. Almost at the same time that Jingyu got the buff from the Green Goblin, his Bladeless Man leveled up to level 6 and had a big move. Without saying anything, he chased after Azrael with his big move. Bladeless Man's big move, Slayer's Will, could increase his movement speed and damage for a period of time. This was a buff big move. It would not directly deal damage to the opponent's monster. How much damage could be dealt during the big move depended on the user's control. When other players used Bladeless Man's big move, it was to chase after low HP players. As long as they could catch up to the opponent's monster, hit it once or twice, and get the monster's head, their goal would be achieved. However, when Jingyu used his big move, the opponent's Azrael was at full HP. The American commentator could not believe his eyes. What is Bladeless Man trying to do by using his big move at this time? Is he trying to fight Azrael one-on-one? An assassin is fighting a warrior one-on-one. He's overestimating himself. Upon hearing this, Aban could already imagine how much pain Country M's commentator's face would be in. I really admire this commentator. No matter how many times he slaps his face, he can still speak so confidently. Tangwa did not listen to the American commentator. When she suddenly heard this sentence, she could not help but ask, "Huh? What did he say again?" Aban, he said that Jingyu is overestimating himself by using his big move to fight Azrael one-on-one at this time. Tangwa, ha 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 ha. There was no need to say anything. Just the laughter alone explained everything. And reality had indeed slapped the American commentator's face. Just as Jingyu used his big move, the enemy's Azrael launched a series of combo attacks at Jingyu, wanting to kill him in one go. However, Jingyu's Bladeless Man moved nimbly and almost completely dodged his damage. Then, he used the skill Sharp Claw on Azrael. Hit. When Bladeless Man's strengthened state dealt a critical hit, everyone couldn't help but exclaim, "So painful." The Grim Reaper's HP dropped by a third after taking the hit. It looked like his HP bar was lower than Bladeless Man's, but he knew that he still had more HP than Bladeless Man. Therefore, he did not back down. He chased after Bladeless Man fiercely. As for Jingyu, he did not even blink. He controlled his Bladeless Man's snakeskin to dodge Azrael's attacks and counterattack at the same time. Both of their HP were decreasing. At the same time, both of their skills were coming off cooldown. Just as both of their skills were refreshed, Azrael used his skill. Jingyu flashed in the opposite direction and made Bladeless Man appear behind Azrael. While dodging the attack, he turned around and used his skill Sharp Claw. System, Bladeless Man, 1 kill. System, enemy Azrael has died. The American commentator and spectator Aban laughed out loud. Ha 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 ha. Jingyu flashed behind Azrael and killed Azrael. I just want to ask the American commentator if his face hurts. Tangwa also laughed. Jingyu's assassin is really good. He can compete with Brother Fei. Brother Fei can suppress anyone in the lane. Jingyu can kill anyone in the jungle. Aban, yes. There are only a handful of people who can kill goldfish in the wild zone. The American commentator took a long time to recover from the shock of being slapped in the face. He looked at the replay on the screen and said in disbelief, the increased speed of Bladeless Man is really too nimble. Azrael's hit rate has greatly decreased. I have to say, this GF player's control is really good. He can actually control the increased speed of Bladeless Man. This is not an easy task. The increased speed of Bladeless Man's big move was indeed useful. However, after increasing the speed, the player's control was even higher. Many players missed the opportunity to kill the enemy monsters because their hand speed could not keep up with their movement speed after using Bladeless Man's big move. Some were even accidentally killed. It was fine when chasing and escaping. After all, they knew the general direction. However, if they used the big move in close combat, one wrong move could cause Bladeless Man to deviate from its intended path. However, Jingyu's Bladeless Man seemed to have a life of its own. In the replay, his every dodge and attack was just right. There was no extra movement, and he minimized his mistakes. In the end, he used the fragile Bladeless Man to kill Azrael, who had high HP, high defense, and high damage. There was no need for the system to calculate. Everyone could see that during the battle, Jingyu's bladeless man's hit rate was much higher than Azrael's. Just like that, PG got first blood. His teammates praised him. Yihong, my fish is amazing. Hanleng, amazing. Jingyu smiled. This is the price for stealing my loot. After saying that, he used bladeless man to heal himself. He returned to the jungle and ganked the enemy's top laner. The enemy's top laner, Satan, had less HP than Azrael. Under Qin Fei's suppression and Jingyu's gank, he died in the tower. System, bladeless man, double kill. System, enemy Satan is dead. After killing the enemy Satan, Qin Fei and Jingyu rushed to the enemy's jungle at the same time. The enemy's top laner and jungler were all dead. If they didn't fight now, when would they? Tanguo laughed. This is a familiar teamwork, a familiar jungler. A ban, even the way they turn around is so synchronized. Ha ha ha. It's obvious that PG's top laner and jungler are very compatible. Tanguo, yeah. I love watching Brother Fei and Jingyu's teamwork in the jungle. Qin Fei and Jingyu took advantage of the fact that the enemy's top laner and jungler had not revived. They recklessly replenished the loot in the enemy's jungle. However, when they killed the last monster in the enemy's jungle and were about to retreat, the enemy's mid laner, Blood Carp, could not stand it anymore and showed his face near them. Yihong hurriedly reminded them, the enemy's mid laner is heading toward you. Jingyu said calmly, I see him. Blood Carp was a half-baked weak mage, but he dared to provoke the enemy's top laner and jungler alone. He was indeed very brave. However, his crowd control and ultimate skills were indeed difficult to deal with, so Jingyu did not plan to take the risk to kill him. He planned to retreat with Qin Fei according to the original plan. However, before he could say anything, Qin Fei's sword burial repositioned and rushed toward Blood Carp. Jingyu, Qin Fei, kill them. Kill them all. Jingyu, fine, kill them all. Although it was a little risky, it would not be a PG if he did not do it. A PG would not let go of any kill that could be obtained, therefore, Blood Carp, who originally only wanted to scare off Qin Fei and Jingyu, was shocked when he suddenly saw the two rushing toward him. He decisively used his ultimate and directly smashed Qin Fei's sword burial's head with a Koi's leap. Qin Fei did not even blink. He used block to block part of the damage, but the other part of the damage took away half of his HP. However, not only did he not retreat, he continued to swing his 40-meter-long sword toward Blood Carp. Oh my God! Is he crazy? This action is tantamount to suicide. As soon as the Country commentator finished speaking, he saw Jingyu's bladeless sacrifice burrow into the ground and arrive at the tower where Blood Carp was hiding. Then, in the next moment, Qin Fei's sword burial rushed into the tower, Yihong's Heijiao flashed into the tower, and Jingyu's bladeless sacrifice burrowed out of the ground to use sharp claw. System, bladeless sacrifice, 1 kill. System, the enemy Blood Carp has been killed. It all happened in an instant. After instantly killing Blood Carp, Qin Fei's sword burial flashed out of the tower. Yihong and Jingyu also left the tower one after another. When the troops entered the tower, the three of them worked together to destroy the tower. System, bladeless sacrifice, destroy the enemy's defense tower. Oh my God, the Country commentator was so shocked by this wave of actions that his mouth could not close. This PG team is really crazy. I've never seen such a crazy team. Not to mention him, even Aban and Tanguo were shocked by this wave of actions. Abba, that's too cruel. As expected of a PG team. Tanguo, yeah. This wave of attacks is too fierce. But it's so fun to watch. Aban, the three of them crossed the tower at the same time and killed Blood Carp in one hit. They didn't give the enemy a chance to react at all. Qin Fei's tempo is so savage that it's inhumane. Tanguo, ha 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 ha. I have to say, this wave of actions is very PG. The moment they exited the tower, Qin Fei's sword burial only had a sliver of HP left. He did not panic at all and returned to the city after destroying the tower with his teammates. After the enemy's tower fell, Yihong's Heijiao went to the bottom lane. Jinyu's bladeless sacrifice also went to the bottom lane and took the purple demon. After increasing his damage, he ganked the bottom lane. System, Heijiao, 1 kill. System, the enemy's wind of condensation has been killed. System, Dark Cupid, 1 kill. System, the enemy's flower in the mirror has been killed. In this wave of gank, Jinyu did not get a kill, but he successfully led his teammates to destroy the enemy's bottom lane. Then, the four of them destroyed the bottom lane's tower together. At this point, PG's economy was in the lead and they had almost controlled the direction of the entire game. No one can stop PG now, Tanghua said. Once PG gains an advantage, they will not give the enemy a chance to turn the tables. Aban said, as long as their dragon is not snatched by Xed, I think there will be no suspense in this game. Next, let's take a look at the second game between BALC and God. As Aban spoke, he switched the live broadcast to another battlefield. BALC's second game started earlier than PG's and it was already 13 minutes into the game. BALC successfully destroyed God's top lane tower, but they lost their bottom lane tower. Aban looked at the economy of both sides and could not help but frown. In this game, BALC used the same strategy as God. They gave up all their economy to their archer, but the effect was not ideal. Tanghua, yes. BALC's archer was killed once, so his economy is far behind God's. Aban, BALC seems to want to trade towers with God, but I don't think it is wise. God's archer, this economy, towers will be destroyed very quickly. Tanghua answered first. Sure enough, when both sides attacked the enemy's second tower, BALC's second tower fell first. Realizing that the strategy of switching towers was not working, BALC's top laner immediately teleported to the bottom lane to defend the tower while the rest of his teammates rushed to the bottom lane. In the end, before God could destroy the last tower in BALC's bottom lane, BALC attacked with all his might and cleared the minions. God's players quickly went to the middle lane and entered the tower through the minions in the middle lane. BALC attacked with all his might again and cleared the minions in the middle lane. God's players had no choice but to return to the bottom lane and stare at BALC's bottom lane's last tower. Aban, BALC's bottom lane's third tower is only left with a sliver of health, but they still managed to defend it. God has not given up and wants to wait for a new wave of minions to enter the tower. However, BALC once again cleared all the minions before the minions entered the tower. Tanghua, I have to say that BALC is very tenacious. However, this game is very close. If they want to win, they still have to increase their economy. Aban, yes, this game is very close. After failing to take down the last tower at the bottom lane of BALC twice in a row, God felt that there was no point in continuing the stalemate, so they retreated and went to fight the dragon. BALC's top, middle, and bottom paths were threatened by the small soldiers, and they had no choice but to split into 3 groups to clear out the enemy. When Li Yan passed by the middle lane, he cleared out a few soldiers. After leveling up, he estimated that it was about time and went to the edge of the dragon pit. As expected, the magic dragon only had a sliver of health left. He hurriedly teleported his sword burial over, and when Flower in the mirror was crowd-controlled, he decisively dispelled the crowd control and handed over retribution. This punishment was handed out at almost the same time as the enemy jungler. Whether or not he could snatch it all depended on whether the system loved him or not. The result was, System, Sword Burial, Conquer the Magic Dragon. System, the Magic Dragon army is about to attack. Tanghua, ah. Seeing these 2 system notifications, Tanghua screamed, Li Yan is too cool. Aha. After Li Yan handed over retribution, he was killed by the enemy jungler in minutes. However, at this moment, he was undoubtedly the biggest winner. This dragon was stolen at the perfect time, and it raised the morale of BALC's low spirits. His teammates roared, Li Yan, you're awesome. Nice, F***CK. Too nice. Charge. We can win. Aban, at the critical moment, Li Yan used his sword burial to steal the magic dragon. That's amazing. Can BALC use this to turn the tables? Let's wait and see. At this moment, the Country commentator was also paying attention to the second game between BALC and God. He was so shocked by this turn of events that he was speechless for a long time. Fong Luofan sat in the audience and couldn't help but laugh when he saw the scene. BALC was a team that defeated PG 4-3 in this year's domestic professional league and won the finals. They wouldn't lose so easily. Unlike PG, who was insanely strong in the early stages and gradually showed signs of weakness in the later stages. Ball C was the type that became more and more stable as the game went on. If God couldn't end the game in the early stages like they did in the previous game, then Ball C would become more and more difficult to deal with in the later stages. PG wouldn't let go of any kill that they could get, and Ball C wouldn't let go of any chance to turn the tables. If PG was a beast, then Ball C was a python that would tightly wrap around its opponent, suffocate them, and then swallow them into its stomach. It seemed that it was hard to say who PG's opponent would be in the finals. Although Ball C managed to snatch the magic dragon, God's archers were too strong and cleared the troops too quickly. The magic dragon army didn't have much of an effect. Even so, Li Yan still took the opportunity to steal 2 of God's towers and make up for her lagging economy a little. It was hard to tell who would win this round. However, PG and Xed had the situation completely under PG's control. Xed's mid lane was getting more and more passive. From time to time, they would go to the dragon pit to take a look, afraid that PG would suddenly steal the dragon. PG had the advantage of stealing the dragon, so of course, they wouldn't let go of this opportunity. Once Xed's players weren't paying attention, PG would start to steal the dragon. Then, when Xed's players arrived, they would immediately retreat. Just like that, the magic dragon's health dropped and rose several times. Magic dragon. Do you think I don't care about my reputation? At 18 minutes, Yi Hong's Heijiao brought the minions from the bottom lane over. Xed's archers had no choice but to go and clear them. Jingyu noticed it and immediately said, "Kill the dragon." Other than Yi Hong, all of PG's players rushed up to kill the dragon. Once again, the enemy's support and mid laner appeared. However, this time, Jingyu said, "Go. Kill them all." Following his words, Han Lung directly used his soul flash to cast crowd control and successfully controlled the enemy's support and mid laner. The enemy jungler was originally crouching in the bushes. Seeing that the situation was bad, he turned around and wanted to escape. However, Jingyu's bladeless death caught up and chased him all the way. In terms of chasing and killing, who had a better advantage than bladeless death? However, before Jingyu killed the enemy jungler, Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid was the first to teleport to the enemy blood carp's face. In 2 seconds, the blood carp was killed. The overflowing damage dealt to the enemy's support and top laner. Qin Fei's sword burial took the opportunity to attack. System, Dark Cupid, 1 kill. System, the enemy's blood carp has been killed. System, sword burial, 1 kill. System, enemy flower in the mirror has been killed. System, sword burial, double kill. System, enemy Satan is dead. System, bladeless death, 1 kill. System, enemy Azrael is dead. Jingyu, nice. Attack the dragon. Luo Yiming, we can fight now. Hurry up. PG's team battle was unexpected, and Xed suffered heavy losses from 0 for 4. With the enemy jungler dead, the PGs had nothing to worry about. All of them charged toward the magic dragon and took down the magic dragon as quickly as possible. Midway through, the enemy archer tried to snatch it back, but Yi Hong caught up and sent him flying with a water spout. Han Lung's soul turned around and used a crowd control skill. The enemy archer was unable to move because of the crowd control. Knowing that the dragon would not be able to snatch it, he decisively flashed away after releasing the crowd control. Soon, 2 system notifications appeared on the screen. Frowny face system, bladeless death, conquering the magic dragon. System, the magic dragon army is about to attack. Yi Hong, nice. Jingyu, we can do it in 1 wave. Don't return, just go. Luo Yiming, 1 wave, 1 wave, 1 wave. Thus, after the PGs defeated the dragon, they did not return to the city to replenish their health. Instead, they followed the minions into Xed's second tower in the middle lane and destroyed it in minutes. When they were destroying the third tower, the enemy archer Wind of Condensation used his long arms to wipe out the minions. The PGs lost their minions, but they did not want to let go of the tower with low health. Qin Fei said, "We can kill it." They directly rushed into the tower. Jingyu immediately let his bladeless death drill into the ground and came out from under the enemy Wind of Condensation's feet. A skill-sharp claw directly scratched off half of his health. Then, Qin Fei's sword burial activated a skill and killed Wind of Condensation in the enhanced state. He blocked 1 tower attack and moved out of the tower. The whole set of actions was done in one go. During this process, Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid did not stop attacking the tower. System, Sword Burial, 1 kill. System, the enemy Wind of Condensation has been killed. System, Dark Cupid, destroy the enemy's defense tower. Hanleng, 66,666. Soon, the first wave of Magic Dragon army arrived. All PGs followed the Magic Dragon army into Xed's territory. Except for the archer, all Xed members were revived. They wanted to clear the troops, but they were smashed by Yi Hong's Heijiao. System, Heijiao, 1 kill. System, the enemy Blood Carp has been killed. System, Heijiao, double kill. System, the enemy Flower in the Mirror has been killed. System, Bladeless Death, 1 kill. System, the enemy Satan has been killed. System, Azrael, 1 kill. System, our Bladeless Death has been killed. After Jing Yu's Bladeless Death took away the enemy's remaining health, he received a tower attack. Before he could escape, he was hooked back by the enemy jungler Azrael's scythe. He received another tower attack and died gloriously. But it did not matter. He died, but the game was won. Almost at the same time when Jing Yu's Bladeless Death died, the screen froze. Then, the animation of Xed's territory being destroyed was played. The golden word victory appeared on the screen, announcing the end of the second game between PG and Xed. PG won again, Tanghua, oh my god. This game was so satisfying. A ban, or rather, every game of PG's was so satisfying. Tanghua, the 2 tower attacks that left the deepest impression on me were the 2 tower attacks. One time, 3 people entered the tower to kill Blood Carp. The other time, 3 people also entered the tower. 2 of them killed Wind of Condensation, and 1 stole the tower. PG is really too fierce. A ban, the 2 tower attacks you mentioned were led by Qin Fei. Qin Fei is really stubborn. I was always worried that he would be killed by the tower, but in the end, he was always able to survive. Tanghua, ha ha ha. Instead, when the game was about to end, Jing Yu was killed by the tower. I really feel bad. A ban, it can't be helped. Jing Yu's Bladeless Death was too fragile. He couldn't take the tower attack. Don't forget, his Sword Burial also gave us a few wonderful tower attacks. Tanghua, the score between PG and Xed is now 2-0. As long as PG wins one more game, they will be able to advance to the finals. A ban, personally, I don't think there's a problem. Xed's players are strong, but their cooperation is not as good as PG's. This is very obvious when they are fighting as a team. And LD is never a one-man game. Tanghua, yes. After the 2 bragged about PG, they returned to the game between BALC and God. The second game between BALC and God lasted for a full 40 minutes. They turned the tables over and over again. In the end, God still won. However, God did not win easily. There was even an element of luck involved. Even though they won, everyone who supported this team was worried for them. It was very hard to say if they could win the third game in one go. The 2 people in charge of PG and BALC were sitting next to Fang Luofan. They were frowning as they watched. Suddenly, they asked, can PG win the championship? Fang Luofan raised his eyebrows, shouldn't you be asking if BALC can advance to the finals now? The person in charge sighed, God is too strong. Fang Luofan replied calmly, BALC is not weak either. The person in charge was stunned, you think BALC can beat God? Why not? Fang Luofan laughed, PG might not win the championship, but they won't lose to God. If they lose, they will only lose to BALC. I think I'll continue watching the game. The person in charge's tone was very perfunctory. He clearly did not think BALC could beat God. However, he could not be blamed. After all, he did not understand Lord Hence, he could only see the 0-2 result. He could not see BALC's fighting spirit burning behind the second game. BALC was a team formed in the second season. Initially, it was just a team created by Li Yan's fans for Li Yan. Even Li Yan's earliest teammates were his fans. At the end of the second season of the professional league, BALC barely made it into the top 8. Almost everyone thought that Li Yan had taken the top 4. Then, they scolded his teammates again and again. They felt that they were dragging Li Yan down. Hence, some of his teammates left in a fit of anger. BALC underwent a huge change. Then, in the third season of the professional league, BALC made it to the fourth place. In the fourth season of the professional league, BALC took third place. In the fifth season of the professional league, BALC defeated PG and won the championship. BALC's strength and ranking had been steadily increasing. It was just like their team's style. In the early stages, they were unpredictable. In the later stages, they became more and more stable. It was no wonder that PG lost to them in the finals and got second place. Hence, in Fang Luofan's eyes, the result of the match between BALC and God would not be known until the end. As for the match between PG and Xed, there was no suspense. That was what almost everyone thought before the third round of the match started. However, after the third game started, the commentators looked at the lineups of both teams and did not react for a long time. In the end, Tangguo was the first to exclaim, "Sorcerer Jungler?" Aban was also shocked by the lineups. Jingyu is using Sorcerer in this game? In this game, Xed's three bans were Sword Burial, Plunder Shadow, and Bladeless Death. Correspondingly, PG's three bans were Immortal, Realm God, and Scarlet Fury. Then, Xed stole the first spot from Moonshade Spider. It was obvious that this game was different from the previous two games. In this game, Xed started to target junglers. When he first realized this, Jingyu did not panic at all. After all, his card pool was so deep that his opponent could not ban all of them. He let his teammates steal the two Cs, Dark Cupid and Nine-Tailed Fox. Then, Xed targeted Flower Petal of Datura and Heart of Ice. Jingyu? Stealing Flower Petal of Datura was understandable. But what was the meaning of stealing Heart of Ice? Yi Hong, I suddenly have a feeling that the other team is going all out. Han Leng, even if they can't beat you, they will disgust you to death. What kind of feeling is this? Luo Yiming, F***CK. Ban junglers, steal junglers, are they trying to make Jingyu carry our shoes? Jingyu, == but it's okay, right? After all, there is still the novice gift pack, Yi Hong said, helping Qin Fei to lock Lilith and walking up. Since the other team had released their life cards, they would definitely use their life cards to accompany them to the end. To ensure that they could win this game in one go. Han Leng also said, yes, even if it doesn't work, we can still use archer junglers. As he said that, he helped himself to lock Soul. After all, the other team had Moonshade Spider. Just in case, they still had to restrict the control-type demon. Then, Xed locked Maha and Wendy in the last two spots. Yi Hong. Luo Yiming, wow, Yezi, you jinx. The novice gift pack has been stolen. Han Leng, F***CK, the assassin junglers were all wiped out, Sword Burial was banned, and even Maha, who can be used as a jungler, was not let go. Qin Fei, why are you panicking? Don't we still have Satan and Wami Liuhua? Yi Hong, Centaur and Wind of Condensation are also okay, but little Jingyu doesn't seem to have practiced much? Jingyu looked at the lineup of the two teams and saw that Xed was very hostile to him. He shrugged helplessly and suddenly said, do you mind if I use mage junglers? Qin Fei, I don't mind. Yi Hong, sure. Luo Yiming, that's a good idea. Han Leng, haha, sure. Even though he knew that his teammates wouldn't mind, Jingyu was still surprised to hear them reply so decisively. Then, he smiled and locked on to Black Drake. Ever since Jock started using mages in the jungle and the results were pretty good, I've always wanted to try it out. Seeing that you all have your life cards, even if I lose this game, you can still carry it, right? Qin Fei, carry it. Yi Hong, carry it. Luo Yiming, I'll carry this game. Jingyu, you just need to lie down and be a salted fish. Han Leng, it's okay, Jingyu, the probability of you losing is much lower than Yezi and Yiming. Jingyu, no, don't judge me. I haven't used mage junglers in an official game, the probability of my economy falling behind is very high. That being said, Jingyu had practiced mage junglers during his training. The two mages that he practiced the most were Heijiao and Scarlet Fury. Now, Scarlet Fury was banned, so he could only choose Heijiao. After a mage's economy improved, their mid-game burst damage was very high and they could kill the enemy in one set. They were more suitable than warriors and archers for junglers like him who was used to using assassins. This was the real reason why he chose mage junglers in this game. Soon, the game began and both sides entered the battlefield. The lineup for this game was like this: PG, Lilith, Nine-Tailed Fox, Dark Cupid, Sol, Xianxia, Wendy, Flower Petal of Datura, Maha, Moonshade Spider, Heart of Ice. Because of this game, Xed's Maha and Heart of Ice were both punished, so until the two sides started to line up, PG was not sure who the opponent jungler was. When the game started, Luo Yiming, who got red, went to the bottom lane to line up and saw Maha. Maha, go bottom lane, Heart of Ice jungler. Jingyu, oh then I can play. Yi Hong, no, you can't. Jingyu, oh right, I'll take mage junglers in this game. Mage and assassin, two squishy tankers, whoever played jungler would be hard-headed. Jingyu was not as hard-headed as Qin Fei, so he decided to stay in his own jungle and develop. Before he had a big move, he would be a herbivore jungler for now. Anyway, with this lineup for this game, their advantage in the lane was so big that they did not need to gank. In the top lane, Qin Fei's Lilith dominated the lane and suppressed the enemy's Wendy under the tower. From time to time, she would lick her opponent's HP and play as strong as possible. In the middle lane, Yi Hong's Nine-Tailed Fox used every skill she had. The enemy's Flower Petal of Datura didn't dare to approach at all. Every time she attacked, she would be licked. Once her HP was low, she could only return to the city to recover. In the bottom lane, the enemy's Moonshade Spider rushed over to control Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid, but Luo Yiming used displacement to escape. Then, Hanling used Sol to control Luo Yiming, and Luo Yiming took the opportunity to deal damage, killing both the enemy's Moonshade Spider and Maha. In the end, Maha escaped, and the Moonshade Spider died on the spot. System, Dark Cupid, 1 kill. System, the enemy's Moonshade Spider has been killed. At this time, the game had only been going for less than 5 minutes. They didn't expect Luo Yiming to get the first kill so quickly. Jingyu looked at the positions of his teammates on the minimap. After confirming that there was no pressure in the lane, he continued to farm in peace. He didn't use any support equipment. Instead, he used a jungler's knife that increased magic power, as well as a pair of shoes that increased spell penetration. He planned to get all the mage's critical damage items in one go. However, this would make farming very slow. Fortunately, his hand speed was fast enough, so he didn't have to gank. In short, he focused on farming in the early stages of the game. This is the first time I've seen Jingyu farming in such a peaceful manner. Tanghua said. A ban, after all, he's a mage. He can't afford to be reckless. The bullet screen frowny face. He can't afford to be reckless. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. A ban, what are you talking about? You hit the nail on the head. He can't afford to be reckless. He's amazing. Tanghua was also amused by a ban. After a while, she recovered. This is the first time Jingyu has used a mage in an official competition. I don't know how he'll play. A ban, a mage's burst damage is higher than an assassin's, but his normal damage is not as good as an assassin's. The difference in playstyle is still very big. I'm looking forward to Jingyu's mage's performance in a team battle. After a pause, however, in comparison, I'm more curious about what Xed is thinking with this lineup. Tanghua, they probably want to target Jingyu and limit his performance to the greatest extent. However, they even took Heart of Ice and Wendy. It's really hard to understand this kind of self-destructive approach. A ban, if it's really self-destructive, then it's fine. However, looking at the situation in the early stages of the game, it's obvious that PG has the upper hand. As if to prove a ban's words, soon, Qin Fei's Lilith used a big move. She directly entered the tower and killed Wendy, who had little health left. At the same time, Yi Hong's Nine-Tailed Fox also completed a series of flashes and damage combos, instantly killing the enemy Flower Petal of Datura. System, Lilith, 1 kill. System, enemy Wendy has been killed. System, Nine-Tailed Fox, 1 kill. System, enemy Flower Petal of Datura has been killed. What about Jingyu? He continued to fight in the jungle. However, after Qin Fei killed the enemy Wendy, Jingyu immediately sent his Xianxia to the top lane. Then, he followed behind Qin Fei's Lilith and invaded the enemy's jungle. Seeing this scene, Tanghua laughed out loud. Aban was puzzled. What are you laughing at? Tangua, nothing, I just feel that Jingyu should feel very safe following Qin Fei in the jungle. Aban, of course, Qin Fei's reputation as the king of the jungle is not undeserved. Live comments frowny face Aban, you're focusing on the wrong thing. Aban is straight, identification complete, the actual situation was, Qin Fei, I'm a fish, come and take this jungle. Jingyu, coming Qin Fei, take this too. Jingyu, okay Qin Fei, don't worry, I'll be watching. If someone comes, I'll protect you. Jingyu, okay Yi Hong, Han Leng, and Luo Yiming. Yi Hong, why isn't this damn game over yet? Han Leng, I'm going to call the police. I'm really going to call the police. Luo Yiming, why isn't LD like PUBG where you can kill your teammates? Qin Fei turned a deaf ear and led Jingyu to sweep the enemy's jungle, fattening Jingyu's Heijiao. When the enemy's devil's snare flower revived and was on its way back to the middle lane, Jingyu's black drake suddenly rushed out from the bushes between the two towers. With a series of powerful skills, control skills, and damage, the enemy was instantly killed. System, Heijiao, 1 kill. System, the enemy's flower petal of Dachira has died. Yi Hong, who was clearing the enemies under the tower in the middle lane, saw this scene and felt a sense of déjà vu. Did the enemy's mid laner use this move before? Jingyu replied leisurely, I learned it from the enemy. In the previous game, Xed's mid laner killed the enemy's mid laner with this move and got 3 kills in the enemy's jungle. At this moment, he couldn't dodge the same move. The enemy's top laner, Wendy, saw this and had to leave the jungle and return to the top lane to clear the enemies. After clearing the first wave of enemies, she wanted to go back to the jungle, but she was forced back to the tower by Qin Fei. 10 minutes later, the magic dragon respawned and Xed took the initiative to attack, but Han Leng's soul disrupted their rhythm. Then, Yi Hong and Jingyu used their big moves at the same time. The two mages' big moves killed a lot of Xed's players. Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid moved and flashed, killing all of Xed's remaining HP. In the end, Xed was wiped out in a 0-for-5 exchange. Then, without anyone's interference, PG was able to grab the Mystic Dragon without any worries. System, Heijiao, conquer the Magic Dragon. System, the Magic Dragon army is about to attack, but this time, when the 2 system prompts appeared, the 5 of them were very calm. They weren't as excited as they were when they got the Magic Dragon in the previous games. Jingyu even said, it's rare for me to get a mage to fight in the jungle, but they didn't give me a chance to play well. Wow, little Jingyu, you're full of yourself. Yi Hong said, but he felt a little bored. After a moment of silence, he couldn't help but add, how should I say this? I feel like Xed has given up. Han Leng, maybe it's the last game. They tried a new formation and strategy, but it didn't work out as expected, so they gave up. Luo Yiming, their formation for this game is a bit like 7, but they didn't have the pressure of 7 at all. They also made a lot of mistakes. Even so, we won't be merciful. Suddenly, Qin Fei said this. Hearing this, Jingyu couldn't help but laugh. Well, you're right. Qin Fei, let's win, and then we'll see who our opponent is in the finals. Jingyu, okay, let's win in one go. After PG took down Magic Dragon, he destroyed all of Xed's towers in the middle lane and won the 3rd game. At the same time, he won the semifinals. Another 3-0. It was so smooth that it felt like a dream. Yi Hong said, to be honest, when I fell asleep on the plane, I had a nightmare. I dreamed that I was beaten to death by a foreign team. Luo Yiming said, ha 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 ha. You were beaten to death by Ri's sword burial right from the start. Yi Hong said. I can't refute that. Han Leng couldn't help but laugh and said, I know what Yezi means. He thinks that the International Invitational Tournament went much smoother than expected. Yes, yes, yes. Yi Hong nodded. I thought that it would be good enough if we could make it to the semifinals. I didn't expect to make it to the finals so smoothly. Look at our record. Other than the 3-1 against Death, we're 3-0 against the other teams. Luo Yiming said, that means we're strong. Han Leng said, that's right. Luo Yiming was as carefree as ever, but there was nothing wrong with his words. There was no such thing as the strong always win, only the strong always win, After thinking this through, Yi Hong couldn't help but laugh. Yes, we are very strong. We can be the champions. Xed voted Jingyu as the MVP. When Jingyu came to the front of the stage, the host asked him a few questions in a hurry. He also answered a few questions in a hurry before the show ended. That was because both the host and Jingyu were anxious to see the results of the match between BALC and God. The third game between BALC and God was not over yet. After 30 minutes, both teams' finances were on the rise. At the 32nd minute, Li Yan led the team in a wave of attacks. His Satan went straight for the enemy's backline and used a series of combos to take out the enemy's archers. In the end, he traded 1 for 5 and eliminated God. On Ball C's side, he was the only casualty. After that, Ball C took down the magic dragon and went to the jungle to get the underworld phoenix so that Li Yan could revive immediately. The dragon that was taken down in 30 minutes was no joke. It was so fat that God's side couldn't even touch it. After God's archers resurrected, they immediately cleared out the magic dragon army in the middle lane, but Li Yan still stole the towers in the upper and lower lanes. Li Yan's ability to steal towers could be said to be one of the best. Even if there were soldiers at critical health, he would still be able to seize the opportunity to sneak in and steal a wave. Jingyu was sitting in the waiting room, watching the live broadcast on his phone. When he saw this scene, he couldn't help but say, Ball C is going to win. I think so too, Yi Hong said. This magic dragon army is enough to give Ball C a hard time. That was indeed the case. Using this magic dragon army, Ball C took down all the towers in God's 3 lanes in one go. Then, he rushed into God's territory and killed the enemy archers once again. At this point, there was no suspense in this match. Ball C's archers kept shooting towers and the status bar of God's territory dropped at an irreversible rate. Finally, the screen froze and the animation of God's territory being destroyed played. The 2 golden words victory appeared on the huge screen in the stadium. The people in charge of PG and Ball C let out a long sigh of relief. Fang Luofan laughed, I told you that Ball C wouldn't lose that easily. The person in charge pursed his lips and said seriously, God is still in the lead. Fang Luofan, the pressure on the leading team to lose is very high. Adjusting one's mentality is also very important in an esports match. The person in charge replied dryly, I hope Ball C can win. Fang Luofan could tell that the person in charge wasn't optimistic about the match between Ball C and God. However, since he was nervous, it meant that he still had some expectations for Ball C to beat God. In comparison, PG's team was quite optimistic. Luo Yiming, let's go, Ball C. Take down God. Yi Hong, we agreed that we would enter the finals together. Whoever gets eliminated first is a dog. Han Ling, Li Yan, bring out your aura as the #1 jungler. Even Jingyu said, if you can't enter the finals, don't come and fight me one-on-one. Hearing this, his teammates couldn't help but laugh. Jingyu and Li Yan's daily duels were known by the entire League of Legends. Jingyu was competitive and Li Yan was aggressive. If these two weren't stopped, it wouldn't be strange if they fought for 3 days and 3 nights. At the same time, Aban and Tanghua were also paying attention to the match between Ball C and God. Tanghua, I hope Ball C can win. Aban, yes, I think so. Although Aban's commentary was crazy, his predictions were always accurate. His intuition came from his many years of commentating. From this match, it can be seen that Ball C is gradually getting used to God's playstyle and has mastered the way to break it. Ball C's team is really scary. They are getting stronger as they compete. Tanghua, the score is now 2-1. God is in the lead, but I still think Ball C will be able to tie the score in the next match. Aban, if they can tie the score, it will definitely put a lot of pressure on God. Tanghua, can Ball C beat God and advance to the finals? Let's wait and see. After a short break, the 4th match between Ball C and God began. God made the first move and banned 3 junglers, Sword Burial, Moonshade Spider, and Flower Petal of Datura. Ball C followed up by banning 3 strong junglers, the Undying, Realm God, and Dark Cupid. Then, God stole Satan's position first. The audience was in an uproar. The Country M commentator was also very surprised. God didn't steal the archer in this match? Aban couldn't help but laugh, is he scared of Li Yan? In the previous match, Li Yan's Satan had killed God's archer several times. Obviously, this played a very important role in the final result of the match and greatly limited God's damage output. Therefore, in this match, God didn't steal the archer first. Instead, he stole Li Yan's Satan. However, Bal Si did not panic at all in the face of such a turn of events. They calmly snatched the centaur and the mermaid. Tangua, Li Yan is really quite calm. Aban, on one hand, the archer position is very important. If God doesn't steal it, Bal Si can't not steal it. On the other hand, Li Yan's card pool is not something God can ban. Tangua, that's true. I heard from Bal Si's coach that he made Li Yan guarantee that 6 of his junglers will be the best in the national server. Therefore, no matter how much God bans or steals, Li Yan will at least be the best in the national server. Aban, oh, that's hard to say. Tangua, Aban, did you forget last season's match between Bal Si and PG, where 6 junglers were banned? Tangua, ha 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 ha. While the two were talking, Bal Si chose their jungler. It was Bladeless Man. Seeing this demon, Jingyu couldn't help but sigh. Li Yan's Bladeless Man is very good. Luo Yiming, I thought all the good players with Bladeless Man would play Plunder Shadow. But I've never seen Li Yan play Plunder Shadow. Jingyu, you're wrong. All the good players with Plunder Shadow will play Bladeless Man, but the good players with Bladeless Man won't necessarily play Plunder Shadow. Although Plunder Shadow's ultimate move and Bladeless Man's displacement are very similar, Bladeless Man's displacement is much more controllable and has a higher margin for error. Is that so? Luo Yiming replied casually. He wasn't very interested in assassin-type demons. At the same time, Aban was also analyzing. Li Yan took Bladeless Man this round. Personally, I think this demon will be very effective against God. Tangua, what do you mean? Aban, God's strategy is equivalent to betting the victory on their archer. Bal Si's current strategy is to kill the archer first before killing the rest of the team. Bladeless Man is fragile, but its damage is very high. Once it matures, it will be much easier for it to kill the backline than Satan. Li Yan can make Bladeless Man burrow into the ground first, then come out from under the archer's feet and kill him. As if to prove Aban's words, shortly after he finished speaking, Li Yan, who had leveled up and unlocked displacement, immediately had his Bladeless Man burrow into the ground and gank the enemy archer. Together with his own archer, he took down the first kill. System, Bladeless Man, 1 kill. System, enemy Wind of Condensation has been killed. The first kill was taken so quickly that many people didn't react when the system notification popped up. After a while, they realized what it was and exclaimed. Tangua was the first to exclaim. Bal Si took down the first kill in this round. Aban also exclaimed. Ah! This is the first time. This is the first time Bal Si has taken down the first kill since the start of the battle between Bal Si and God. This first kill was very important. It limited the enemy archer's economy and gave Li Yan's economy a small boost. Bal Si's strategy was a continuation of the previous round. His teammates learned from God and went on a hunger strike, giving all their economy to Li Yan and his archer. Once they matured, the other teammates only needed to kill a few minions and they could level up several times. Yi Hong, to be honest, I don't really like this strategy. Han Leng, me too. Jingyu, but it turns out that Bal Si's strategy is very useful. After Li Yan killed the enemy archer, he led his own archer into the jungle. Then, he turned back to clear the enemy's tower. They used the fastest speed to obtain the biggest early game economy advantage. They destroyed the enemy's bottom lane tower and took down the magic board's vision. Qin Fei raised his eyebrows. Does this count as giving him a taste of his own medicine? Yi Hong, forget it. God had taught Bal Si the hunger strike, and Bal Si was using the same tactic to suppress God. At the 11th minute mark, the two sides had engaged in a group battle. Li Yan had his Bladeless Sacrifice burrow into the ground and come out from under the enemy archer's feet. With a series of combo attacks, he finished off the archer. Then, he went on a killing spree and blinked away with only a sliver of health remaining. This scene made Tangua scream uncontrollably. Ah! Li Yan is so handsome. Aban, not only did he get 3 kills, but he also survived. Amazing. In this group battle, Bala C had gained an unprecedented advantage by trading 5 for 0. After they won, they did not fight the dragon. Instead, they chose to push the tower. All Bala C members gathered in the mid lane and followed the minions to push down God's 2 towers. Then, their top laner and support were in charge of vision. The mid laner was in charge of clearing the minions. Li Yan led the archer into the jungle. After stealing from God's jungle to their heart's content, they went to the bottom lane to get a magic board and pushed down God's second bottom lane tower. Aban, Bala C is really proud of himself for this round. Tangua, yeah. The first 3 rounds were so frustrating. Although he won the 3rd round, it was very difficult to win. It was not as satisfying as this round. Aban, Bala C is getting more and more comfortable. In the first 2 rounds, he was led by the nose by God. In the 3rd round, he started to grasp the strategy. In this round, he controlled the situation from the start. I think they have a high chance of tying the score in this round. At the 18-minute mark, Li Yan went into the jungle alone. He met the enemy archer in a narrow path and killed him without saying a word. Then, he and his top laner surrounded the enemy jungler. After killing him, he sent a signal to his teammates to gather at the dragon pit. With the enemy archer and jungler dead, the others did not have the right to steal the dragon from Bala C. Li Yan killed the magic dragon with a retribution. Then, after killing the enemy mid laner, he started to chase after the enemy top laner. He could not have been more brutal. Luo Yiming, ha ha ha. I can see that Li Yan is very angry. Han Leng, he must have accumulated a lot of anger after being suppressed in the first 2 rounds. Jingyu, why do I feel like he's just high and wants to kill more people? Jingyu was indeed someone who had played against Li Yan many times. He knew Li Yan better than his teammates. Li Yan was in a completely unsealed state. Run. Keep running. Do you think you can escape from me? Li Yan, even if you run to the ends of the earth, I will kill you. His teammates were helpless. Ah Yan, come back. Are we still going to push the tower? Li Yan, you guys push it. No one can stop me from killing people. Thus, while Li Yan chased the enemy top laner all over the map, the rest of Bala C followed the minions into the tower and pushed the last tower in God's mid lane. Before they entered God's territory and destroyed it, Li Yan finally killed the enemy top laner. Then, he did not forget his main mission. He sneaked into the enemy's territory, killed the archer, and flashed out of the tower. This round ended in 26 minutes. It was much shorter than the previous 3 rounds. Bala C1, 2-2 draw. God's archer died a total of 10 times. All of them were killed by Li Yan alone. Aban could not help but sigh. Li Yan is really good. He has never made a mistake in killing archers. The only time he made a mistake was when he was fighting the magic board. He let the magic board leave its active range and caused it to recover health. It wasted a lot of time. Tangua, yes, Li Yan's performance is super stable. It's mainly when he's fighting with others. He's a little distracted when farming. He's a typical carnivorous jungler. Aban, now, the score is 2-2. The next round will determine the winner. Whether Bala C can advance to the finals depends on the result of the next round. Tangua, wow, if Bala C really defeats God, will the finals be between PG and Bala C? Aban, haha, yes. Then our country will be the champion and runner-up. In the 5th round, God banned Sword Burial, Moonshade Spider, and Bladeless Man. Then, they stole the first spot from Flower Petal of Datura and Satan from the 2nd spot. This development seemed familiar to PG Luo Yiming. Is God on the same path of no return as Xed? Path of no return. Yihong did not know whether to laugh or cry. However, it was true that in the 3rd round, Xed banned and stole the jungler from Jingyu. In the end, they could not control the jungler well and lost the game. It was no different from digging their own grave. Wasn't this a path of no return? Qin Fei yawned lazily. This method is only used when there's no other way. Yes. Jingyu agreed. It's obvious that God is under a lot of pressure. They realized that they can't beat Bala See with their original strategy, so they're using unconventional methods. Yi Hong, unfortunately, Xed has already proven that they'll lose even more miserably if they do that. Han Leng shrugged. There's no other way. If they change, they'll die. If they don't change, they'll die. So, should they change or not? In this situation, they can only choose to change. If they use unconventional methods, they'll at least have a chance to win. Otherwise, they'll just be sitting ducks. In the 5th round, God used unconventional methods and restricted Li Yan to the greatest extent. Li Yan had to give up on the warrior and assassin and use Kamal as the archer. Both sides used the same hunger strike tactic. God fattened up their archer while Bala Si fattened up Li Yan. PG had experienced Li Yan's Kamal. This devil that could be both an archer and a mage, in Li Yan's hands, could only be described as confusing. Many times, when they faced off against Li Yan's Kamal, they wouldn't even know how they died. In this round, perhaps because Li Yan used the archer, Bala Si's strategy changed. They no longer waited for Li Yan to kill the archer before swarming up to wipe out God. Instead, they copied God and used defensive equipment. For to protect one, they had to protect Li Yan even if they had to die. This ensured that he could deal as much damage as possible. At the 13th minute, a team battle broke out in the middle lane. Bala Si traded 4 for 5 and wiped out God, Li Yan's pentakill, Luo Yiming, F***ck. That's awesome. Yi Hong, this is what it means to give someone a taste of their own medicine. Han Leng, Bala Si's team is a little scary. I suddenly don't want to play against them anymore. I'd rather play against God. Jingyu was also shocked by Bala Si's strategy. Did they copy God's playstyle and end up with an even scarier result, a ban? In this round, Bala Si copied God's playstyle and dealt a heavy blow to God. This development is too magical. Tanghua, yeah, it's too magical. As the two teams fought, God kept changing his playstyle. Bala Si's playstyle became more and more similar to God's. In the end, Bala Si copied God's playstyle and dealt a heavy blow to God. A ban. I can see that Bala Si is getting more and more comfortable in these 5 rounds while God is getting more and more stressed. Bala Si has a huge psychological advantage in this round. They have a high chance of winning. Tanghua, yes. After the team battle, Li Yan's Kamal only had a sliver of health left. He couldn't take down the magic dragon alone. Hence, he ignored the magic dragon and followed the minions into the tower. He took down God's tower in the middle lane and went into the jungle alone. At this time, God's players hadn't revived. Li Yan was the only one left on the battlefield. Hence, he was able to do whatever he wanted in God's jungle and pulled apart the economy of both teams. Not long after, all the monsters revived. The two teams fought again near the magic board. Bala Si had the economy advantage and took down God in a 2-4-5 trade. Bala Si only lost their mid and support. They could still fight the dragon. Li Yan, fight the dragon. You can fight it. Go fight it now. Following Li Yan's words, Bala Si gave up on the half-finished magic dragon and rushed into the dragon pit. They took down the magic dragon as quickly as possible. In this round, Bala Si had 2 archers. In addition to Li Yan's Kamal, they also took down Wanmi Liuhua. The 2 archers took down the dragon very quickly. They didn't give God a chance to revive. Bala Si used this wave of magic dragon to destroy almost all of God's towers in one go. When the 3rd wave of magic dragon was cleared out by God, only the top 3 towers were still standing. However, they only had a sliver of health left. Bala Si's entire team was eyeing this tower. They waited nearby for a while. After a wave of minions came, Li Yan and the archers decisively entered the tower. Each of them took down the remaining health and destroyed the tower. Then, the top laner and support flashed to control the enemy. Li Yan and the archers followed up and attacked. 1 kill, 2 kills, 3 kills. The Country M commentator stared blankly at the situation on the screen. He didn't know what to say. On the other hand, a band's excited voice never stopped. Li Yan's triple kill. No one can stop Li Yan anymore. This round, Bala C is unstoppable. This is too amazing. A few minutes later, Bala C's entire team attacked God's territory. The terror of the two archers was fully reflected in the later stages of the game. The status bar of God's territory dropped at a terrifying speed. The damage that floated above it made people despair. In the end, God's territory was destroyed. The two golden words victory popped up on the big screen, announcing the end of the game. Bala C defeated God 3-2 and advanced to the finals. Luo Yiming, Holy sh*T. Yi Hong, Holy sh*T. Han Leng, let's have 2 chase 3, very good. Qin Fei, Tisk Jingyu, after all this time, we still have to fight Bala C. That being said, when the 5 PG players saw this result, they were sincerely happy for Bala C and proud of their country. The two teams that advanced to the finals were actually from the same country. They showed the strength of their country's esports in an unquestionable manner. At this moment, in the audience, Fang Luofan laughed loudly, ha 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 ha. I told you that Bala C wouldn't lose so easily. Seeing this result, the general manager couldn't help but laugh. This way, they could be considered the champion and runner-up of the International Invitational Tournament. No matter the result of the finals, the glory belonged to their country and they could watch without any pressure. Aban and Candy's live broadcast rooms had gone crazy. Everyone was celebrating to their heart's content, as if the competition involving the 8 countries had already ended. Looking at the screen full of messages, congratulations to Bala C. Congratulations to PG. Let the whole nation celebrate together. Aban couldn't help but laugh, okay, let's congratulate PG and Bala C for being the champion and runner-up of the first International Invitational Tournament. Tanghua also smiled. Next, we will broadcast the friendly match between the two teams. Please relax and watch. On the way back to the hotel, Luo Yiming suggested that they celebrate with a big meal, but was rejected by his teammates with 4 votes. Jingyu, there's still the finals in the afternoon. It's not too late to celebrate after the finals. Luo Yiming, okay. Han Leng, by the way, where's the coach? Yi Hong, he's playing Tai Chi with BALC's coach. Han Leng, huh? At this moment, Fang Luofan was walking side by side with BALC's coach, chatting as they walked. BALC's coach, look, we're from the same country. It's not good to kill each other in the finals. Why don't we just do it for show? Fang Luofan, yes, we can't kill each other. Friendship comes first, competition comes second. BALC's coach, so don't ban sword burial. It wasn't easy for Ah Yen to get this life item. Fang Luofan, yes, yes. Don't ban Plunder Shadow and Nine-Tailed Fox either. They're all children's lives. We have to treat them equally. BALC's coach, this Nine-Tailed Fox can be released, but isn't it a bit inappropriate to release Plunder Shadow? Fang Luofan, we already said that it's just for show. What's wrong with that? If you want to release them, then release them all. BALC's coach, you guys release Sword Burial, we'll release Nine-Tailed Fox. It's fair for each team to release one, right? Fang Luofan, yes, yes, yes. It's fair for each team to release one, so release Plunder Shadow. Isn't it fairer for each team to release one jungler? BALC's coach, that won't do. Look, your Jingyu knows how to use Sword Burial, but our Ah Yen doesn't use Plunder Shadow. If we release Plunder Shadow and you guys steal Sword Burial, wouldn't that be awkward? Fang Luofan, that won't happen. Jingyu won't try to steal Sword Burial when his Shadow Plunder is released. Don't worry about that. BALC's coach, where's Qin Fei? This kid is really good at Sword Burial. Fang Luofan, ha ha ha, can't I just tell him not to snatch the Sword Burial? Didn't you say you'd just fight for fun? Why are you being so serious? BALC's coach, it's hard to say. It's not the first time that you PGs have done this. If we fall out now, it will damage the friendship between our brotherly teams. Fang Luofan, if you don't want to play, then play seriously. BO7, best of 7. Are you afraid that you won't be able to catch up? Balk's coach, that makes sense. Then, in the first match that afternoon, Ball C made the first move and gave the last ban to Fleeting Shadow. PG easily banned Sword Burial. Fong Luofan's heart didn't waver. He even wanted to laugh, he knew it would turn out like this. The 3 bans on both sides were PG, Undying, Moonshade Spider, Sword Burial BAL. C, Realm God, Nine-Tailed Fox, Fleeting Shadow. Then, Ball C snatched the first ban from Kamal. Isn't this supposed to be a friendly match? Yi Hong said as he helped Luo Yiming to ban Dark Cupid. Qin Fei locked onto Lilith. You really believe that? We can play friendly matches with other teams, but forget about Ball C. Hanlong shrugged. With Li Yan's personality, do you think he'll go easy on us? Luo Yiming, ha ha ha, our Jingyu won't allow us to go easy on them either. Jingyu. Yeah, we're in the finals. Of course we have to win and get the trophy. While they were talking, Ball C locked onto Azrael and Quangu. PG had a bad feeling about the 2 monsters with high HP and defense, but they still locked onto Scarlet Fury and Sarier as planned. Then, Ball C locked onto Satan and Wanmi Liuhua, while PG locked onto Heart of Ice. The final lineups of both sides were PG, Lilith, Scarlet Fury, Dark Cupid, Sarier, Heart of Ice Ball C, Quangu, Satan, Azrael, Wanmi Liuhua, Kamal. After the internal swap of monsters, Jingyu confirmed Ball C's lineups again. He finally understood why he had a bad feeling. Did Ball C use this lineup in the morning match? Yeah, Qin Fei confirmed. It was the last match against God. Luo Yiming, F*CK. They won't use God's strategy against us, right? Yi Hong, maybe. Jingyu was silent for a moment. 1 second before his character entered the battlefield, he gave the order, push the middle tower. Huh? Yi Hong didn't understand. Jingyu, everyone gather in the middle lane and push the middle tower. Tanghua, the International Invitational Tournament has finally reached its final match. The 2 finalists are PG and Ball C. Look at them fighting for the trophy. There's no pressure at all, right? A ban, that's right. No matter which of these 2 battle teams becomes the champion, I can accept it. Tanghua, as we can see, Ball C gave red to Wanmi Liuhua and blue to Li Yan's Kamal. Blue to the jungler? A ban was surprised. Then, he noticed, Li Yan went to the top lane to clear the minions. The top laner and support are in the field of vision. Is Ball C planning to use the strategy from the last match against PG? As soon as he finished speaking, the livestream cut to the middle lane. PG gathered in the middle lane. After clearing a wave of minions, they entered the tower along their own minions. They were inhumanly domineering. Ball C's mid laner picked Satan. He was so shocked by PG's 5 players that he cursed. Before he could react, Qin Fei's Lilith had already licked him. The tower started attacking Lilith. At the same time, PG's other players attacked Satan. Each of the 5 players used a skill, and Satan's health dropped to the bottom in an instant. System, Dark Cupid, 1 kill. System, local Satan has died. The match had only been going on for a minute. PG was caught off guard when he took the first kill. Qin Fei's Lilith took 2 damage from the tower. Hanlong saved him by activating his shield in time. When he exited the tower, he only had a sliver of health left. To prevent Li Yan from coming after him, he had to return to the city. PG's other players used the wave of minions to attack the enemy's tower in the middle lane. Before the enemy archer could take down their tower in the bottom lane, they took down their tower in the middle lane. Then, everyone moved to the top lane and defeated Li Yan's Kamal, crippling Ball C's top lane tower. Oh my god. Tanghua could not help but exclaim, PG's play is too brutal. Ball C's middle lane tower is dropping so quickly. A ban, obviously, they saw through Ball C's strategy and planned to switch towers with them. This is the same strategy Ball C used against God. However, Ball C was too slow in pushing towers and lost. As he said this, Ball C's archer took down PG's bottom lane tower. Then, PG waited for the second wave of minions to take down Ball C's top lane tower. The match had only been going on for 5 minutes and 3 towers had been taken down. This speed was simply unprecedented. The bullet screen was a mess. Frowny face F*CK, you're telling me this is a friendly match? This is the first time I've seen such a brutal friendly match. How is this a friendly match? This is a meeting between enemies. PG is really brutal. After taking down Ball C's top lane tower, PG gathered in the middle lane and cleared the minions. They were eyeing Ball C's middle lane tower covetously. Finally, Ball C could not stand it anymore. Other than the archer, all the players gathered in the middle lane to defend the second tower. However, they realized, Where's PG's jungler? Aban, Jingyu's jungler. Tanghua, Jingyu's jungler. While both sides were entangled in the middle lane, Jingyu's Heart of Ice infiltrated Ball C's jungler and stole the purple demon and a few minions. Ball C did not stop him. Instead, he let his archer take down PG's bottom lane tower. In the end, PG's bottom lane tower fell first. Then, Jingyu's Heart of Ice reached level 6 and cut in from behind Ball C's middle lane tower. He froze Ball C's 4 players with his ultimate skill and killed them all. System, Dark Cupid, 1 kill. System, Enemy Satan has been killed. System, Dark Cupid, double kill. System, Enemy Azrael has been killed. System, Dark Cupid, triple kill. System, Enemy Quangu has been killed. Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid dealt extreme damage and obtained a triple kill. Jinyu's Heart of Ice took most of the damage from the tower and sacrificed himself heroically. During this process, Li Yan realized that things were not going well and used Blink to escape. Qin Fei's Lilith used Blink to take away his remaining health. Then, he was killed by the tower. System, Kamal, 1 kill. System, Heart of Ice has been killed. System, Lilith, 1 kill. System, Enemy Kamal has been killed. System, Kamal, double kill. System, Lilith has been killed. Just like that, PG killed Ball C in a 2-for-4 trade and destroyed Ball C's middle lane tower. System, Dark Cupid, destroyed the enemy's defense tower. The match had only been going on for 7 minutes, and 7 people had already died. That was an average of 1 person per minute. This terrifying speed shocked everyone. Isn't this battle too intense? Tanghua couldn't help but exclaim. This match is too brutal for PG. It's a style that kills 1,000 enemies but also kills 800 of their own. They're in a hurry. Aban explained. They're probably trying to take down Ball C's 3 towers in the middle lane before Ball C's archers have fully developed. They want to end the match as soon as possible. But from the looks of it, PG's 3 towers in the bottom lane will fall first. As if to prove Aban's words, after PG destroyed Ball C's 2 towers in the middle lane, Yi Hong and Luo Yiming immediately teleported back to the city. Hanlong turned around and ran towards the bottom lane. Obviously, they wanted to save the 3 towers. The existence of the 3 towers was crucial. Once they were destroyed, they would be in danger of losing the match at any moment. Ball C's archer heard Li Yan's reminder. He hesitated for a moment between continuing to attack the towers and retreating. He chose the former. Just as Ball C's 3 towers were about to be destroyed, Yi Hong's Scarlet Fury and Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid arrived. The 2 of them blinked and cast crowd control, while the other moved and attacked. Ball C's Wanmi Liuhua instantly lost half of his health, but he still persisted in attacking the towers. Finally, when the tower only had a sliver of health left, his health was cleanly wiped away by Yi Hong's Scarlet Fury. System, Scarlet Fury, 1 kill. System, Enemy Wanmi Liuhua has died. F***CK. So close. Ball C's archer couldn't help but yell. His expression was as if he had lost $1 billion. After Yi Hong killed Wanmi Liuhua, he immediately ordered his Scarlet Fury to clear the mid lane to prevent Ball C from taking the opportunity to steal their tower. Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid, under the protection of Han Leng, led the minions to the bottom lane. After Qin Fei's Lilith revived, he went straight to his top lane. Jinyu's Heart of Ice was farming in his own jungle. Ball C's players are starting to spread out. Aban explained. The current situation is that Ball C has successfully destroyed Ball C's first tower in the top lane and second tower in the middle lane. Ball C has successfully destroyed Ball C's second tower in the bottom lane. Ball C's third tower is only 1 hit away. Both teams' finances are about the same, but Ball C's archers' finances are much higher than everyone else's. Even though Ball C has lost more kills than Ball C, they still have the upper hand in this match. Oh my god. I'm so nervous watching this match. Xianxia said. Both teams' tempo is too fast. Both the kills and the towers are dropping so fast. I feel like the winner will be decided in the blink of an eye. Yeah. Ah, half agreed. In this round, PG used a fast attack strategy. Ball C had no choice but to cater to their strategy and increase his own tempo. This caused the game to progress very quickly. So far, neither side has gained an absolute advantage, so it's hard to say who will win. As soon as he finished speaking, the live stream cut to the bottom lane where the magic board was. Li Yan looked around and didn't see any Ball C's players. He stole the magic board by himself and was crippled by the magic board. He had no choice but to run away. Li Yan's teammates were speechless. Xianxia, ha 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 ha. Li Yan. I'm dying of laughter. Aban didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Li Yan is getting anxious. He's using Kamal for this match. It's a little weak. With his current level and finances, he can't solo the magic board. He can wait for his archer to arrive. The livestream frowny face. Is Li Yan here to be funny? I'm dying of laughter. Li Yan's daily mistakes. He's a little cute. Li Yan didn't waste much time on the magic disc. After 2 hits, he realized that it wasn't working and immediately retreated. He used discipline on the nearby monsters to recover his health and then began to farm. While he was farming, Hanleng went to take a look at the magic board. There was no one there. Hanleng, do you want to fight? Jingyu, yes. You guys go first. I'll be right there. Li Yan should be nearby. Be careful. Luo Yiming, okay. Thus, Hanleng led Luo Yiming to attack the magic board. Hanleng supported and took damage. Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid was responsible for damage. However, just as the magic board status bar was about to hit 0, Li Yan's Kamal suddenly rushed out of the bushes. With a big move, not only did it steal the magic board, but it also crippled both Hanleng and Luo Yiming. Luo Yiming was shocked. Before he could react, he heard Jingyu's calm voice. Go. After Jingyu said this, he connected his Heart of Ice to Li Yan's Kamal and floated over. The blizzard effect swept across the screen, freezing Li Yan's Kamal into an ice sculpture. Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid moved over and attacked together with Jingyu's Heart of Ice. Soon, the control effect disappeared. Li Yan wanted to use Flash to escape, but Jingyu immediately caught up and threw an ice blade at him, piercing him. System, Heart of Ice, 1 kill. System, enemy Kamal has been killed. Seeing these 2 system notifications, Hanleng finally reacted. Jingyu, don't tell me you've been targeting Li Yan from the beginning? Jingyu let his Heart of Ice continue to farm as he calmly said, I don't need the magic disc, but I must kill Li Yan. Ha 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 ha. Luo Yiming laughed. You two are really arch-enemies. Hanleng facebombed. You're still laughing? Didn't you realize that Jingyu sold you out? Hanleng only complained in his heart, but he didn't say it out loud. However, even if he didn't say it out loud, someone else would. Yi Hong, wow, little Jingyu, you really sold your teammate out. Jingyu had an innocent expression. Huh? How could that be? Aren't we all alive? Hanleng, Jingyu, you've changed. You're no longer the hardworking Jingyu who single-handedly carried us with 5 kills. Jingyu, == That being said, Yi Hong and Hanleng both knew that Jingyu's judgment was correct. BALC's archers were already dealing damage. If they took out the magic disc now, they would probably be killed before they could even reach the tower. However, if Li Yan died, BALC's economy would definitely be affected. Therefore, they didn't need the magic disc, but Li Yan must die. There was nothing wrong with that statement, Jingyu. Now, everyone gather in the middle lane and push the tower. Following Jingyu's words, PGs gathered in the middle lane and attacked the 3 towers in BALC's middle lane. However, even if Li Yan's Kamal died, they still had Wanmei Liuhua. When he saw PGs gathering in the middle lane, he hurriedly went back to the middle lane to clear the enemies, not giving PGs a chance to enter the tower. However, it didn't matter. PGs took advantage of this opportunity to gain the vision of the magic dragon. Then, all of them crouched in the bushes near the magic dragon and prepared for the team battle. At the 12-minute mark, Li Yan's Kamal revived. All of BALC gathered in the middle lane and prepared to fight PGs. This team battle was initiated by BALC's Azrael. His scythe hooked Han Lang, who was hiding in the bushes, and pulled him into BALC's encirclement. In the nick of time, Han Lang's Sarier activated his ultimate. Light of Protection, Lock Health Boost. All PGs rushed towards BALC with the buffs from Light of Protection. Jingyu's Heart of Ice moved into BALC's encirclement and activated his ultimate, Blizzard. This blizzard was cast at the perfect time and froze all of BALC's players. However, BALC was prepared. All of them dispelled their crowd control and counterattacked. However, while they were dispelling their crowd control, Yi Hong's Scarlet Fury came down on them. At the same time, he aimed his second skill at Li Yan's Kamal, immobilizing him. Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid also rushed towards Kamal and killed him in a matter of minutes. System, Dark Cupid, 1 kill. System, Enemy Kamal has been killed. System, Heart of Ice, 1 kill. System, Enemy Wanmi Liuhua has been killed. Jingyu's Heart of Ice could not hold his ground in such an intense team battle. Before he died, he managed to kill Wanmi Liuhua with only a sliver of health left. Then, he was killed by Satan's ultimate skill. At the same time, enemy Azrael blinked to the back row of PGs and successfully killed Yi Hong's Scarlet Fury. He refreshed his skill and tried to kill Luo Yiming again. However, he was blocked by Han Lang. System, Satan, 1 kill. System, Heart of Ice has been killed. System, Azrael, 1 kill. System, Scarlet Fury has been killed. System, Azrael, double kill. System, Sarier has been killed. At this time, Azrael was hit by Qin Fei's Lilith and was left with only a sliver of health left. Before he could use the same skill for the third time, Luo Yiming was the first to kill him. Then, he attacked the remaining enemies like crazy. System, Dark Cupid, 1 kill. System, Enemy Azrael has been killed. System, Dark Cupid, double kill. System, Enemy Satan has been killed. At this point, the BALC team was wiped out. On the PG's side, only Qin Fei's Lilith and Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid were still alive. The combination of a Fathom tank and a marksman could kill the dragon. Hurry up and kill the dragon! Jingyu shouted. We can, we can. Han Lang shouted. Yi Hong also shouted, quick, quick, quick. Hurry up and kill the dragon. Qin Fei and Luo Yiming were both left with only a sliver of health left. In addition, the match had only been going on for 10 minutes. Both of them had not fully developed yet. Fighting the dragon was very dangerous, but they still went ahead. Because they knew that if they missed this opportunity, once the two marksmen of BALC developed, they would become more and more passive, and eventually lose the match. Therefore, even though they were not confident, they still charged into the dragon pit without hesitation. Both of them moved nimbly, but it was inevitable that they would be hit by the magic dragon's AoE attacks. Qin Fei's Lilith's health went up and down. Everyone was scared out of their wits. The moment the magic dragon's health dropped to a sliver, Qin Fei's Lilith was killed, and Luo Yiming was left with only a sliver of health. All the PG's members, as well as the PG supporters, held their breaths. They were so nervous that their hearts almost stopped beating. In the next second, 2 system notifications popped up on everyone's screen's frowny face system. Dark Cupid has conquered the magic dragon. System, the magic dragon army is about to attack. Got it. Luo Yiming shouted excitedly and returned to the city. Yi Hong, nice, Yiming. 66666. Han Lang, Yiming, you're good. You're the hope of our village. Qin Fei, who took most of the damage and died gloriously, laughed and did not say anything. Ah! Aban was so agitated by this tense scene that his voice broke. That was too thrilling. One's Dark Cupid took down the magic dragon with only a sliver of health left. That was too thrilling. Tanghua, that's right. Whether it's Brother Fei's Lilith taking 1 less hit, or one's Dark Cupid dealing 1 less hit, PGs can't take down this dragon. Aban, I think it's time for a wave. Tanghua, can PG seize this opportunity? Let's wait and see. Now, only Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid was still alive. After he returned to the city to heal himself, Jingyu and the others also revived one after another. Take down the 3rd tower directly. Following Jingyu's words, all the PGs gathered in the middle lane and attacked the third tower in the middle lane of Ball C. This was the nth time they had tried to take down Ball C's third tower. However, unlike the previous times, this time, they had the Magic Dragon army. However, when they arrived at the third tower in the middle lane, all the players in Ball C had revived and cleared out the minions that were about to enter the tower as quickly as possible, not giving them a chance to enter the tower at all. The first wave of Magic Dragon army didn't help the PGs in taking down the third tower in the middle lane, but it helped them take down Ball C's second tower in the middle lane. Then, when the second wave of Magic Dragon army arrived, Xianxia Fei's Lilith revived and followed the minions to the third tower in the middle lane. Xianxia Fei, you have all the big moves, right? Jingyu, yes. Yihong, yes. Then let's kill them. After Xianxia Fei said these three words, his Lilith activated lifesteal and went straight for Ball C's back row. Jingyu's Heart of Ice connected with the enemy archers almost at the same time and followed Xianxia Fei's Lilith into the tower and froze all the players in Ball C with a big move. Yihong's Scarlet Fury also blinked into the tower and used a big move. It's here. All PGs have entered the tower and forced a team. Candy shouted nervously. She felt that this match was really making her tremble in fear. When Xianxia Fei, Jingyu, and Yihong forced a team, Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid also rushed into the tower. However, he focused on the tower and didn't care about anything else. Seeing that Lilith was about to die, Hanlin hurriedly had Sarier use a big move. Light of Protection covered all his teammates' health and bought them an extra second to survive. This second was crucial as it directly determined the outcome of this forced team. System, Heart of Ice, 1 kill. System, Enemy Wanmi Liuhua has died. System, Lilith, 1 kill. System, Enemy Kamal has died. Yihong's Scarlet Fury took away a lot of the enemy tank's health. Jingyu and Xianxia Fei each took an archer's life. At this time, Lilith and Heart of Ice's health were low. Once the effect of Light of Protection wore off, only death awaited them. However, their goal was achieved. System, Dark Cupid, destroy the enemy's tower. Bal C's 3 towers were finally down. Yihong couldn't help but reveal a victorious smile. Checkmate. Xianxia Fei, stop showing off, kill them. Without the protection of the tower, Bal C's top and mid laner fled. Enemy Azrael used a big move to take the lives of Xianxia Fei and Jingyu. Then, Yihong's Scarlet Fury controlled him and dealt damage, killing him on the spot. System, Azrael, 1 kill. System, Lilith has died. System, Azrael, double kill. System, Heart of Ice has died. System, Scarlet Fury, 1 kill. System, Enemy Azrael has died. At this point, PG had traded 2 for 3, Tanghua forcefully traded 2 for 3. In this round, PGs were really too strong. From start to finish, Bal C was led around by PG's tempo. They couldn't be more passive. A ban, yeah. Only PG would dare to use such a tactic of sacrificing 800 to deal 1000 damage to the enemy. It seems that as long as they can trade 1 for 1, they won't hesitate to charge forward. That was right, Xianxia Fei and Jingyu were prepared to die the moment they crossed the tower. Their goal was clear, which was to kill Bal C's 2 tanks. Even if it was a 1 for 1, they had to take them down, and then, they succeeded. With Bal C's 2 tanks dead and Bal C's full health, there was no doubt about the outcome of this match. Soon, the last wave of Magic Dragon troops arrived and entered Bal C's territory. Luo Yiming had his Dark Cupid follow the Magic Dragon troops into the tower, and then started attacking the tower like crazy. The enemies Quangu and Satan had finished healing and wanted to stop him, but Yihong seized the opportunity and used a big move to cripple them once again. The clear army couldn't be cleared, and Dark Cupid couldn't kill them either. Baylor C's top and mid laners were in despair. Finally, just as they were about to explode, the screen froze and showed the scene of Bal C's territory being destroyed. The word victory popped up on the big screen, announcing PG's victory, 1-0. The audience was stunned and couldn't react for a long time. Originally, they had lost interest in watching the finals after Bal C's defeat. The only reason they came back was because they couldn't return the tickets they bought in advance. They thought it would be a waste not to come and kill time. In the end, what kind of brutal game was this? They had never seen such a fast-paced match. The system notifications didn't stop. and players from both sides were sent back to the fountain. However, it wasn't a one-sided crushing situation. The intense battle and the extreme maneuvering made the audience's blood boil. Unknowingly, the audience was fascinated by the match. The chatter became less and less, and more people focused on the match. Some people were so focused that they even forgot to blink. Then, the match ended. When the word victory appeared on the screen, the audience was stunned for a long time. They couldn't believe that the match ended just like that. Xianxia, oh my god. This match ended too quickly. It didn't even take more than 20 minutes. A ban, yes, it was too fast. It even gave me the illusion that the match was over before it even started. In the past, the live broadcast screen would always say, "Can this be called a professional player? I can do it too." Or something like that. But now, the comments in Aban and Xianxia's live broadcast room were very harmonious, and they almost reached the same conclusion. Frowny face, the gods are fighting. There's nothing wrong with the gods fighting. The pace is so fast that it's inhumane. As expected of the final battle between the champion teams. There were also some mocking comments from the commentators. Frowny face joke, Xianxia said that this was a friendly match. Ha 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 ha. What a freaking friendly match. I've never seen such an intense friendly match. Aban and Xianxia turned a blind eye to these mocking comments. After praising PG and BALC for a while, they finally found their rationality and said something professional. Aban, in this match, BALC obviously wants to use God's playstyle to deal with PG and let the main C develop and lead the team. PG's response is to attack quickly and end the match quickly before BALC's main C develops. Their goal is very clear, which is to push towers. If they can push down all their towers in the middle lane before BALC's main C develops, then they will have a very big advantage. Xianxia, looking at the final result, PG's strategy was successful. Although the process was very dangerous, whether it was fighting the dragon or forcing the team in the end, they could have killed themselves if they weren't careful. However, their courage to stake everything on this one throw is really admirable. Aban, haha, yes. In this match, PG vividly displayed their entire team's style. They played strong and domineering. The speed of the commentators in Country M can't keep up with their rhythm. Xianxia, I wonder how the two teams will play next. At this moment, in PG's game room, Yihong collapsed on the table. He had only played for less than 20 minutes, but he felt like he had played for a century. I can't do it, Luo Yiming slapped him on the back. How can a man say that he can't do it? Yihong glared at him. I've never played a match with such a fast pace. I'm really afraid that I can't keep up. Me too. Hanlong shrugged. I'm really afraid that all of you will die before I can use my big move. Yihong, are we still going to play like this in the next match? I really can't keep up. Jingyu thought for a moment. It depends on how BALC plays. If they still use this tactic against us, Yihong, we'll fatten Yiming up. Luo Yiming, question mark. Jingyu, yes, fatten Yiming up. Hanlong, I support fatten Yiming up. Yihong, we'll fatten him up. Qin Fei, then we'll kick him into BALC's territory. Jingyu, then we'll win. Luo Yiming? The short break ended quickly and the second match began. In this round, Bal C made the first move and gave the first ban to Charlie. Hanlong raised an eyebrow. You want to ban me? Jingyu, no problem. To be honest, the reason we won the last match was because of your big move. He paused for a moment. But it's okay, we'll change our strategy this time. Yihong couldn't help but laugh when he heard Jingyu's raised voice. We'll be watching Yiming this time. Wow, I never thought that Yiming was this reliable. As he spoke, he openly banned Sword Burial. Then, BALC's second ban went to Plunder Shadow, and PG's second ban went to Immortal. It was Bal C's turn to choose the third ban. They first chose the Realm Deity. After a while, it was the Nine-Tailed Fox. After a while, it was the Realm Deity. Seeing this scene, Luo Yiming could not help laughing out loud. Ha 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 ha. Are they all trying to ban him? Too bad there's only one ban. A ban, BALC is in a dilemma. It seems like they still want to use the same strategy as the last match. They don't want Sorcerer, but if they don't want Sorcerer, Realm God will be taken by PG. Yezi's Realm God and Nine-Tailed Fox are both very strong. They can directly decide the outcome of the match. As soon as he finished speaking, Bail C chose the Nine-Tailed Fox. PG didn't hesitate to ban Moonshade Spider. Han Leng, here's the question. Will they steal Realm God? Yi Hong, let's do it. I want to pick support this round. That's right. Jingyu suddenly thought of a strategy. Since someone has to stay in the field of vision, should we try dual support? Qin Fei, dual support is a bit risky. It'll be very weak in the later stages. Jingyu, that's only if you pick support. If you pick top or mid, like Gulen, Soul, Blood Carp, Yi Hong, yes, Blood Carp. I'll pick Blood Carp this round. As soon as he finished speaking, Ball C locked onto Realm God. As expected, they didn't dare to pick Realm God on Yi Hong. Yi Hong had already expected this, so he didn't care. PG's first position instantly locked onto Dark Cupid. In the second position, he hesitated between Heart of Ice and Lilith before finally locking onto Lilith. Actually, BALC wasn't likely to pick either of these two monsters. Jingyu wanted to see what jungler Li Yan would pick. If he picked Bladeless Man, Jingyu would consider picking Flower Petal of Datura, which had higher HP. As expected, BALC immediately locked onto Bladeless Man and Centaur. PG also locked onto Flower Petal of Datura and Gulen based on BALC's lineup. BALC's last two positions were Quangu and Azrael. PG's last position instantly locked onto Blood Carp. Blood Carp? Tangwa was surprised. She didn't expect PG's last position to pick such a buffing monster. A ban, locking onto Blood Carp while locking onto Gulen. I feel like Blood Carp should be a mid laner. Tangwa, huh? This is Yezi's first time using Blood Carp, right? How is Blood Carp going to play against Realm God? A ban, PG is causing trouble every day. Let's watch the competition quietly before the two sides start to line up. After a while, both sides adjusted their order and entered the battlefield. Their final lineups for the second round were PG, Lilith, Blood Carp, Dark Cupid, Gulen, Flower Petal of Datura Bal. C. Quangu, Realm God, Centaur, Azrael, Bladeless Mane. In the beginning, they still helped each other get buffs. However, this time, both sides gave all their mana to the jungler, then, both sides' top laners, mid laners, and supports all stood in the field of vision and threw skills at each other. The jungler and archer cleared the jungler. Tangwa thought she saw wrongly. This round, PG is using the same strategy as BALC? A ban, I can see that the strategy used in the previous round consumed a lot of PG's mana, so they can't use the same method to win again. After Li Yan realized that PG was using the same strategy as them, he had no choice but to rush his Bladeless Man to the bottom lane in an attempt to restrict Luo Yiming's development. However, Jingyu rushed to the bottom lane almost at the same time. After the two of them fought for a while, both of them retreated with low HP. Both sides cleared the jungler at the same speed, but their economy couldn't close the gap. At the 8th minute, BALC's top laners, mid laners, and supports worked together to gank Qin Fei's Lilith. Qin Fei's Lilith moved nimbly under the tower and killed BALC's top laners and mid laners. He even chased away the support with low HP. He was inhumanly domineering. Qin Fei, you want to catch me? Yi Hong, pfft. Brother Fei, you're too cruel. Because of this wave of counterattacks, BALC's economy was suppressed. In the end, Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid was able to forcefully fight BALC's archer and kill him even though he had a one-piece lead. Jingyu immediately rushed his Flower Petal of Datura to the bottom lane, but he was still a step too late. Li Yan's Bladeless Soul burrowed out of the ground and killed Dark Cupid with low HP. Then, he escaped with his ult. Jingyu clicked his tongue. He really wanted to send a message to the public chat: if you have the guts, don't leave after killing someone. Let's fight 1v1. Both sides' archers died one after another, but their economy was still in the lead. Unlike the fast-paced turrets in the previous game, not a single turret had been lost in this game. However, both sides' bottom lane towers were at half HP. It was a matter of a single wave of minions. Seeing that Li Yan had left, Jingyu stayed in the bottom lane to kill a wave of minions and bring his own minions into the tower. In the end, Balc's bottom lane tower fell first. After their archer revived, he immediately rushed to the bottom lane to save his second tower. Luo Yiming, under Jingyu's instructions, started farming his own jungle. The big screen displayed the economy of both sides. Luo Yiming's economy had already surpassed Balc's archer, and the gap between them continued to widen. At this time, Yi Hong's blood carp returned to the middle lane and killed a wave of minions, allowing him to level up a few times in a row. At the 13-minute mark, the first full-scale team battle between the two sides broke out near the magic board. Li Yan's bladeless soul wanted to one-shot Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid. However, the moment he burrowed out of the ground, Han Leng activated his shield in time. Yi Hong also quickly threw a ULT at Luo Yiming, Blood Carp's ULT, Koi's Leap. It healed teammates within a certain range and increased their movement speed. At the same time, it dealt damage and reduced movement speed to enemy creatures. The two of them had bought enough time for Luo Yiming, allowing him to kill Li Yan's bladeless death with his remaining HP. System Dark Cupid, 1 kill. System The enemy's bladeless soul has died. When Luo Yiming killed Li Yan, Jingyu's flower petal of Datura cut in from behind Balc. At the cost of his own life, he successfully stacked 6 stacks of poison on the enemy archer. System Enemy Archer, 1 kill. System Flower Petal of Datura has died. System Flower Petal of Datura, 1 kill. System The enemy archer has died. Balc's archer has died, while PG's archer is still alive. There was no longer any suspense in this team battle. System Dark Cupid, 1 kill. System The enemy's realm god has died. System Dark Cupid, double kill. System The enemy's Azrael has died. System Dark Cupid, triple kill. System The enemy's Quangu has died. At this point, PG traded 1 for 5 and wiped out Balc. This was their biggest advantage since the start of the match. Yi Hong, nice. Hit the dragon. Luo Yiming, hit the dragon, hit the dragon, hit the dragon. All PG members gathered at the dragon pit. Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid used his explosive damage to take down the magic dragon in minutes. This allowed PG's economy to completely overtake Balc's, laying the foundation for their victory. Tanghua, the shield was used at the right time in this team battle. A ban, yes, and Yezi's big move as well. Tanghua, now I know why Yezi got blood carp this round. Double support archer. A ban, Li Yan's idea is correct. As long as we kill the enemy archer, we win. But on the other hand, as long as we protect our own archer, we win. PG did a very good job in this aspect. In this round, PG didn't manage to take down the Sarier. He relied on Golan's shield and Blood Carp's big move to forcefully save his archer from Li Yan's evil clutches. This directly determined the final outcome of the team battle. After PG got the magic dragon, he followed the magic dragon army and took down Balc's 3 towers. At this time, Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid had fully developed. The speed at which he took down towers was so fast that it made people's scalps tingle. If he could take down towers that fast, then there was no need to mention killing people. Another team battle broke out at the border of Balc's territory. Luo Yiming wiped out Balc with a pentakill, not giving Balc a chance to retaliate. His economy is 3,000 ahead of ours. We can't play anymore. Li Yan's teammate said. Li Yan shrugged. Yeah, we lost this round. We'll win the next round. Just like that, Balc won the 3rd round. In the early stages of the match, Li Yan used the flower petal of Datura to gank Luo Yiming's Dark Cupid. Not only did he successfully kill Luo Yiming, but he also killed Jingyu, who came to help. This gave Balc an economic lead. After Balc's archer developed, it was unstoppable. 2-1 Alright, Jingyu admitted that his bladeless man wasn't as good as Li Yan's, so he took back his Heart of Ice in the 4th round. For the first 10 minutes, both sides were in a stalemate. At the 11th minute, Jingyu used his Heart of Ice to lead a wave of momentum. He led his PGs to take down Balc's magic dragon and completely pulled apart their economy. Then, he used the magic dragon army to destroy Balc's territory and win. 3-1 in the 5th round, Li Yan took down Kamal again. In the first wave of the team battle, he used a big move at the right time to take down BALC's 3 kills. Then, he took the economic lead and led his team to win BALC's game, 3-2 after playing 5 rounds in a row. Both sides' stamina was a little exhausted. But in terms of pressure, BALC was still under more pressure. After all, BALC only needed to win one more round to get the championship trophy. If BALC wanted to win the championship, it had to win 2 more rounds. Yi Hong, I have the urge to never touch the mouse or the keyboard again after this match. Qin Fei calmly replied, after this match, we'll take a half-month vacation in Country M. I'll pay for everything. It's up to you whether you want to touch the keyboard or not. F***ck, you're so rich. Han Lung was the first to complain. What about the prize money? Qin Fei, of course we'll split it equally. Yi Hong, tisk tsk, brother Fei, you. Do you think you can cheer me up by saying that? Let me tell you, okay, you win. In the 6th round, there was a huge change in the band positions. BALC first banned Kamal, Undying, and Moonshade Spider. BALC then banned Lilith, State, and Dark Cupid. Then, BALC stole Sword Burial, Satan, and BALC stole Sin Garden. They thought that Jingyu would use Sword Burial as a jungler in this round. However, BALC immediately locked Soul and Heart of Ice. Sword Burial was the top laner, however, BALC also got Flower in the Mirror as he wished. He planned to use the combination of Sin Garden and Flower in the Mirror to decide the winner of this match. In this crucial round, the lineups of both sides were as follows: BALC, Sword Burial, Soul, Maha, Wind of Condensation, Heart of Ice BALC, Azrael, Heijiao, Sin Garden, Flower in the Mirror. Satana Ban couldn't help but raise his eyebrows when he saw the lineups. BALC got 2 archers in this round? Tanghua, BALC has Sin Garden and Flower in the Mirror as the bottom laner. Based on the lineups alone, I feel like BALC has the advantage. A ban, it's hard to say. It depends on what strategy both sides are going to use. If BALC still wants the support to stay out of sight, then Sin Garden will be under a lot of pressure. As expected, BALC's Flower in the Mirror didn't stay out of sight. Instead, he stayed by his archer's side. On BALC, Luo Yiming wasn't alone either. However, his support wasn't Han Lung's Wind of Condensation. Instead, it was Yi Hong's Soul. Did Yi Hong and Han Lung switch positions? No. Han Lung's Wind of Condensation was facing BALC's Azrael in the top lane. Meanwhile, Qin Fei's Sword Burial was in the middle lane. Sword Burial is in the middle? Aban and Tanghua exclaimed at the same time. They couldn't believe it. When BALC's mid laner saw that his opponent was Qin Fei's Zhang Jian, he was so scared that he almost missed a soldier. BALC hadn't played against RE before, so he hadn't experienced the terror of Sword Burial. However, it didn't matter. They would experience it soon enough. System, Sword Burial, 1 kill. System, enemy Heijiao has been killed. Ever since Qin Fei's Sword Burial refreshed, these 2 system notifications kept popping up on the screen. This made BALC's mid laner feel the terror of being dominated by Sword Burial. This was the first time Qin Fei had walked into the middle lane in an official match. His opponent's mid laner was devastated. He couldn't help but feel sorry for his own top laner. Only when they played against each other could they truly understand. Qin Fei, this bastard, was really King terrifying. In the end, BALC's mid lane was destroyed in the 6th match. BALC's team ended with BALC stealing the Magic Dragon. Once BALC stole the Magic Dragon, BALC's team wouldn't give BALC any chance to turn the tables. They directly pushed into BALC's territory and destroyed it to obtain the final victory. 4-2 BALC won. After this round, whether it was PG or BALC players, all of them collapsed on the table. I'm dead. Yi Hong said weakly. He felt like it was a miracle that he was able to last through 6 matches. Towards the end, he felt like he had lost his ability to think. He did whatever Jingyu told him to do. He was no different from a robot. Jingyu smiled. It's okay. We won. Tanghua, BALC won. Congratulations to BALC for winning the first international invitational tournament. Bah, this is the first time our country has won a championship in an international competition. Let's congratulate BALC. Congratulations to BALC for being the runner-up. Tangua, thank you to both teams for giving us such an exciting match. We didn't stay up all night to watch and commentate in vain. Aban, ha ha ha. My biological clock has been completely turned upside down these past few days. I don't know how long it will take for me to adjust back. Tangua, now I can finally sleep in peace. Aban, yeah. In a few days, both teams will be back in China. Tangua, looking forward to it. The next morning, BALC's official Weibo account posted, BALC, the first international invitational tournament is finally over. Congratulations, Sleep V is Jingyu, not a salted fish, Yezi V in the C position. Your Team 3H has won the finals. In order to celebrate this unprecedented victory, our club has decided to organize a free tour of M country to celebrate. Tell me, are you guys happy? Fans? What? No, when are you guys coming back? Luo Yiming was awarded the MVP of the final by BALC. This surprised PG, but it was easy to understand. After all, both teams had relied on their shooters in the previous games. The outcome of the game depended on the shooters. Luo Yiming didn't let PG down. He performed a lot of extreme maneuvers and helped PG win the game in the end. His performance in the final was better than any of the previous games. Yi Hong followed Jingyu's instructions throughout the game and didn't make many mistakes. PG was a double-edged sword. In the final game, they finally pointed their blades at BALC. In the final interview, all the members of PG appeared on the stage together. Even Fang Luofan, as PG's coach, was invited to say a few words. Luo Yiming didn't have a chance to show off his Chinglish. After the six of them returned to the hotel and took a shower, they immediately discussed their travel plans in the group chat. As a result, Qin Fei suddenly said this. Qin Fei, I'm going to apply for a marriage license with you tomorrow. I've already made an appointment. Luo Yiming, what the F***ck? So soon? Yi Hong, you said you were going to take us on a trip because you wanted to get married to Jingyu and have a honeymoon? Han Leng, then here's the question. Will Jingyu wear a suit or a wedding dress? Luo Yiming, a wedding dress. I can't imagine Brother Fei wearing a wedding dress. Yi Hong, actually, we can all wear suits, but I support Jingyu wearing a wedding dress. Han Leng, I also vote for the wedding dress. Jingyu, of course, they had to let their parents know about their marriage. After Jiaoxi and Qi Xian heard about it, they flew to M country overnight to help them prepare for the wedding. While helping Jingyu choose his wedding dress, Jiaoxi asked tentatively, can I try it on? Jingyu was stunned for a moment. Before he could respond, Qi Xian smiled and said, if you want to try, then try. Jiaoxi had never worn a wedding dress in her life, let alone hold a wedding. However, she had no intention of getting married. Now that she mentioned it, it was probably because she felt that the wedding dress was very beautiful and wanted to try it on and take a photo as a memento. When Jiaoxi went to change into the wedding dress, Qi Xian winked at Jingyu. You want to try it on too? Wedding dress. Jingyu, Qi Xian said, Cici will be happy this way too. Jingyu, is that true? Just as he was about to nod in agreement, Qin Fei, who had changed into a suit, rushed over and hugged Jingyu's waist. He frowned and looked at his mother. TSK, as soon as I left, you encouraged me to wear women's clothes. Qi Xian rolled her eyes at him on the spot. What's so good about two men wearing suits? How can we not make a good impression on a wedding that might only be held once in a lifetime? I don't count on you. It's rare that your Jingyu is good-looking. How can you deprive him of the opportunity to amaze everyone? Qin Fei. I can't win against you. I only know that this is our wedding. We have the final say in what we wear. Qi Xian, hey, you brat, I can't pretend that I didn't hear what you said. I gave birth to you and raised you. If I didn't agree, would you be able to marry Jingyu? I left my work and came all the way here. Okay. Qin Fei helplessly interrupted her. He really didn't know what to do with her. I admit that I said something wrong just now, but let Jingyu decide what to wear at the wedding. He is my other half, so I respect his choice. If he doesn't want to wear a wedding dress, it's useless no matter what you say. Xian raised her eyebrows and was trying to persuade Jingyu when the door of the fitting room suddenly opened. Jiaoxi walked out in a snow-white wedding dress. Xian instinctively looked over. For a moment, her eyes unconsciously became unfocused. Jiaoxi's waist was very thin. The wedding dress she tried on showed off her figure incisively and vividly. Her beautiful figure silenced everyone present. After taking a few steps, she put down the hem of her dress and smiled at everyone. Her dazzling smile made everyone feel as if they were in a dream. At this moment, she was like a princess who had walked out of a fairy tale and was in another fantasy world. Jiaoxi didn't notice their expressions. She tilted her head and asked, "How is it? Is it okay?" Xian was the first to react. "It's beautiful." Qin Fei said, "It's beautiful." Jingyu said, "It's so beautiful." Hearing Jingyu's voice, Xian suddenly reacted. She tilted her head and smiled. "Are you tempted? Do you want to try it on?" Jingyu knew that women's clothing was very suitable for him, but unfortunately, he wasn't interested in women's clothing. Although he wasn't against it, he thought about it and decided that it didn't matter, so he asked Jiaoxi, "Do you think I should wear a suit or a wedding dress at the wedding?" "Huh?" Jiaoxi blinked. She didn't expect him to ask her this question. She almost instinctively looked at Xian. "Oh yeah, Xiaoyu and Qin Fei are getting married. Do you want to wear a suit or a wedding dress?" Xian said decisively, "Wedding dress." Jiaoxi turned to look at Jingyu. "Wedding dress." Jingyu he shouldn't have asked her, however, since he had asked and she had answered, Jingyu felt that, fine, that was it. Okay, then the wedding dress it is. He calmly made the decision. And so, at the wedding a few days later, Jingyu, who was wearing a snow-white wedding dress, exchanged vows and rings with Qin Fei in front of his two mothers, teammates, and coaches. The judge who was invited announced that their marriage was valid. Then, Qin Fei put one arm around Jingyu's waist and lowered his head to kiss him. There weren't many people at the wedding, but they were all people who sincerely wished them well. Yihong couldn't help but sigh as he clapped. TSK, I thought that little Jingyu would look good in a wedding dress, but I didn't expect him to look so good. It doesn't feel out of place at all. Luo Yiming, wow, I want to fall in love. Hanlang, if you really want to fall in love, I suggest you dye your yellow hair back first. Luo Yiming, that won't do. After all, I'm the center of the PG rankings. Hanlang, ? Luo Yiming, you have to be eye-catching. Hanlang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. In front of everyone, Qin Fei kissed him very gently. Jingyu obviously wanted more, but he could only restrain himself. After that, the judge signed their marriage application, allowing them to obtain a legally valid marriage certificate. This meant that they were officially married and legally married. After getting married, of course, they had to go on their honeymoon. Qin Fei and Jingyu didn't go on a trip with everyone else. Instead, they enjoyed their two-person world in M country for more than half a month. In the first few days, they didn't leave the bed much. After indulging for a while, they both felt that they couldn't go on like this. Qin Fei, we have to stop. If we continue like this, we'll die. Jingyu hugged Qin Fei's arm and rubbed his head intimately on his shoulder twice. Okay, then, the two finally turned on their normal travel mode and had a good time in M country. At the same time, they also showed their faces in the live broadcast room. Hello everyone, I'm Jingyu. Jingyu held the live broadcast device in his hand and looked at the camera on his phone as he walked. I haven't been playing games recently, but I still have to make up for the length of the live broadcast. Jingyu, is it really okay for you to be so honest? I just want to know when you're coming back to China. Hubby, I miss you. Come back quickly. Jingyu was about to reply when Qin Fei pulled him back. Then, Qin Fei's deep voice sounded. Don't look at your phone when crossing the road. Hey. This voice, is it Brother Fei? Brother Fei is beside you? I want to see Brother Fei's face. I want to see Brother Fei's face. Oh, you're only allowed to take a look, Jingyu said and tilted the live broadcast device so that he and Qin Fei could both enter the screen. Qin Fei noticed and clicked his tongue. He pulled Jingyu across the road safely and said, I told you not to look at your phone when crossing the road. If you do this again, I'll confiscate your phone. Jingyu, okay, ha 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 ha. Jingyu is so obedient, Brother Fei is still as domineering as ever. Why do I feel that it's a little sweet? You two should get together quickly. Seeing this comment, Jingyu blinked. After hesitating for a moment, he pulled Qin Fei's clothes. Brother Fei. Qin Fei stopped in his tracks and looked back at him. What's wrong? Jingyu, can you lower your head? Qin Fei raised his eyebrows and glanced at the screen. He knew what Jingyu wanted to do and smiled helplessly. In the end, he did as Jingyu wished and lowered his head. Then, Jingyu leaned forward and kissed him on the lips. What the f***ck? It was a light kiss, but it was enough to explain everything. Jingyu looked back at the camera and smiled slyly. As everyone can see, we're together #Qin Fei, Jingyu #overnight. This topic jumped to the top 3 trending topics on Weibo, and a bunch of PG fans who stayed up all night. Inevitably, there were complaints, but most people still gave their blessings to the relationship between the two. If it was the previous Jingyu, he definitely wouldn't have done something like coming out of the closet live. However, after meeting Qin Fei, he became more and more confident and cared less about other people's opinions. As long as Brother Fei doesn't dislike me, it doesn't matter what other people think. Therefore, he openly admitted his relationship with Qin Fei in the live broadcast room, and then directly posted his marriage certificate with Qin Fei on Weibo. The next second, it was forwarded by Qin Fei. I thought there was no future for top laners and junglers, but in the end, top laners and junglers are really amazing. Friends, I'm afraid you've forgotten about the joint jungler. Ha ha ha, there's nothing wrong with the joint jungler. More than half a month later, with the end of Qin Fei and Jingyu's honeymoon, PG's free trip to M country also came to an end. After the group of people packed up their things, they went back home that very night, back to China. Before they returned home, M country's officials finally sorted out the game recordings and audio from each country and sent them to each country. Before choosing to make it public, they did some processing. Considering that Qin Fei and Jingyu had already admitted their relationship, the officials didn't cut out the audio of their public display of affection during the game. This undoubtedly caused 1,000 waves. You never know what your opponent is doing. I thought they were going to play a game, but I didn't expect them to be showing off their love. So the trip is actually a honeymoon? This pair is too sweet. The joint jungler competition is amazing. Since they were back in China, it was inevitable that they would be interviewed by reporters and invited to entertainment programs. PG found it troublesome, so they rejected batch after batch. Finally, they agreed to have a public-friendly match with Ball C on an entertainment program. However, before the friendly match even started, the two teams started to cause trouble. Yi Hong said, since it's a friendly competition, then there's no need for a ban. Everyone is free to choose the demon they want to use. Isn't that great? Li Yan, that's fine, but your audience is already sick of it. Can't you come up with something new? For example, Zongjian Zongzhou? Yi Hong, I'm in the middle of a sword burial. If you have the ability, then make sure your family's single person is buried with a sword burial. Li Yan, sure. Jingyu, then let's all use sword burial. PG and BALC? Thus, the two teams began a game of independent mode, with all members locked onto sword burial. At the start of the game, the red in the bottom jungle was given to the archers of both sides, while the blue in the top jungle was given to the jungler. Then, just as the match started. System, sword burial, 1 kill. System, sword burial has been killed. Qin Fei glanced at Yi Hong's darkened avatar. Yezi, you noob. Yi Hong, F***ck, Li Yan is in the middle. On Ball C's side, Li Yan's sword burial was clearly a retribution, but in the middle lane, he was able to kill Yi Hong in a matter of minutes. Of course, the PG was not convinced. Jingyu immediately sent his Zong sword to the top lane. After killing the opponent's solo laner with Qin Fei, they went into the jungle and found the mid laner to kill. Li Yan, you're using the jungle to link up again. Do you have any shame? As he spoke, he also sent a message in the chat box. Qin Fei immediately typed a reply, "Who cares? Li Yan, wow, my jungle. You make it sound like it's yours." As he spoke, he sent his sword burial to the bottom lane, wanting to gank Luo Yiming. He didn't expect Luo Yiming's sword burial to be so good. After dodging his attacks, he counterattacked under Hanling's protection. Hanling, use a skill. Luo Yiming, huh? Hanling, use a skill. A skill. You can kill Li Yan with it. Luo Yiming hurriedly used a skill, and with a flurry of slashes, he pushed Li Yan back. After Li Yan used a teleport and a flash to escape, he wanted to cry. What kind of monsters are these PGs? How can they be so strong without any training? His teammate smoothed out his hair. Yiming's positioning is too good, but he's not familiar with skills. Wait until you have a big move and kill him. After Li Yan reached level 6 and had a big move, he went to gank the bottom lane again. Even though he was blocked by Jingyu, he successfully used a big move to kill Luo Yiming. Then, with a beautiful movement, he escaped from Jingyu's clutches. Jingyu clicked his tongue. I've decided. I'm going to keep an eye on him. After that, Jingyu kept an eye on Li Yan and successfully killed him 4 times. However, Li Yan was always able to kill the PGs before he was killed. For this round, Qin Fei and Jingyu were responsible for carrying the PGs, Luo Yiming was responsible for mixing, Han Leng was responsible for carrying the shoes, and Yi Hong was responsible for delivering the kills. On Ball C's side, Li Yan was responsible for killing the PGs, and his teammates were responsible for protecting them. Finally, at the 14-minute mark, Li Yan set the pace in the middle lane and killed the PGs with 3 for 5, taking down the magic dragon. In the end, Ball C won. The PGs weren't convinced. Yi Hong said, since you've taken the life cycle, shouldn't we take the life cycle next? Li Yan, sure, Heart of Ice? Jingyu, let's do it. Yi Hong, F***ck. I don't know how to use it. In the second round, all of them took Heart of Ice. The situation was completely one-sided. Jingyu single-handedly carried the entire team and got 5 kills. Jingyu, the 5 of them have been surrounded by me. Hurry up. Well, in the end, the PGs won without any suspense. The host said, as expected of the world's #1 Heart of Ice, before he could finish, he was interrupted by Jingyu, one more round. I want to play Fleeting Shadows. Li Yan wanted to refuse, but his incompetent teammate beat him to it. Fleeting Shadows it is. Who's afraid of who? So in the third round, all 10 players on both sides took Fleeting Shadows and flew around the map with their ultimate skills. No one could hit anyone, and most of them died after being killed by the towers. The game lasted 17 minutes, but Jingyu only got 6 kills. All he heard was the ha-ha-ha of his teammates. They were amused by their own stupidity and inexplicable deaths. They were really stupid. This round, PGs won completely by accident. The score was 23-27, and almost all of them were killed by themselves. After the third round, the host finally called for a stop and the show moved on to the next segment. When the show was broadcasted, it received a bunch of ha-ha-ha on the bullet screen. The people from these 2 teams are too cute. The round where everyone got Fleeting Shadows was so funny. Jingyu looked like he didn't understand the whole time, ha-ha-ha. Jingyu, I haven't even done anything yet, how did you all die? Since Qin Fei and Jingyu were married, they obviously couldn't live with everyone else. It was inconvenient. So, they decided to rent a house near the club. Actually, before they decided to get married, Qi Xian had already helped them decorate a house near her company, but it was too far from the club. So, before they retired, it could only be left empty. Jingyu didn't care about anything outside of the game, so Qin Fei took care of the rental. He only cared about moving in. On the first day they moved in, they had unrestrained sex and didn't fall asleep until late at night. Then, they slept until noon the next day. When Qin Fei woke up in a daze and looked at the unfamiliar environment, it took him a while to regain his memory. He raised his hand to cover his face and moaned, "You'll suck me dry sooner or later." After saying that, he subconsciously turned his head to look at the person beside him, but all he saw was an empty bed. His sleepiness instantly disappeared, and his pitch-black eyes narrowed. It wasn't until he heard the sound from the kitchen that his whole body relaxed and he let out a long sigh of relief. Xianxia sat up from the bed. After resting for a while, he lifted the blanket and got out of bed. He didn't put on any clothes because he planned to take a shower later. When he stepped barefoot on the ground, the cold temperature woke him up. So, he quickened his pace and walked to the kitchen door. He saw a large patch of snow-white skin. At this moment, Xianxia was naked in an apron and busy in the kitchen. Xianxia went over to take a look. Is he making omelets? F***ck. You scared me. When Xianxia suddenly saw Xianxia's head, he was so scared that he almost threw the spatula in his hand away. Xianxia looked disgusted. There's only the two of us here. What's there to be scared of? Xianxia steadied the spatula and coughed. You're up? Wait a moment. It'll be ready soon. Xianxia grunted but didn't leave. Instead, he stood behind Xianxia and watched. Suddenly, he reached out and hugged him, resting his head on his shoulder. Xianxia blinked and didn't resist. Xianxia's hand directly reached into his apron and pressed against his skin, making him feel warm and at ease. However, the next second, he felt Xianxia's hand move down. Xianxia's body trembled and he couldn't help but say, "Wait outside. Don't disturb me while I'm making breakfast." Xianxia didn't let go. What time is it now? Xianxia, it's almost 11 o'clock. Xianxia, yes, then it's lunch. Xianxia. Lunch it is. Go out. Don't disturb me while I'm making lunch. Xianxia smiled. I won't. Xianxia, in the end, Xianxia let Xianxia hold him and finished frying 2 omelets. There were limited ingredients, so he only added lettuce and luncheon meat to the omelets. It's delicious. Xianxia was never stingy with his praise for Xianxia. I didn't know you could cook. Xianxia, who was sitting across from him, smiled. Of course I have to know these skills to live alone. But it's true that I haven't cooked in a long time. He paused and said, if you like it, I'll cook for you 3 meals a day. Okay, Xianxia replied. He thought for a moment and added, but don't tire yourself out. Xianxia, okay Xianxia, do you want to take a shower together later? Xianxia, okay? After entering the bathroom, Xianxia realized that he had misunderstood. When Xianxia said that they would shower together, they really did shower together. Other than rubbing each other's back, they didn't do anything else. After showering, the two of them dried their hair, changed into clean clothes, and went out. The new season hadn't started yet, but a few new monsters had appeared. In order to prepare for the new round of the competition, they still had to go to the club to participate in training and make up for the time spent streaming. At the Overlord level, whether it was in a solo or a team, the opponents would be very interesting. For example, in this round, Xianxia and Xianxia were paired together, and their teammates were Kid's archer and support, as well as Jock's mid laner. The most brutal top laner in the server, the #1 assassin in the server, the #1 archer in the server, and the top mid laner in the server scared the hell out of their opponents before the match even started. Friendly, Jock XD, what a coincidence. Friendly, Kid LLY, what a coincidence. Friendly, Jock XD, Brother Fei and Xianxia, congratulations on your marriage. Friendly, Xianxia, not salted fish, thank you. It was a crushing match without any suspense, and the fight was very harmonious. The mid laners and junglers cooperated well together like a complete team. The bullet screen was a bit strange. I always thought that PG and Kid didn't have a good relationship. PG and Jock don't seem to have a good relationship either. Xianxia saw this and replied, whether they have a good relationship or not, they can't go against winning. It was true that PG and Kid didn't have a good relationship. Although the two teams had arranged to have a practice match, their relationship had always been stiff. The main reason was that Feng Luofan acted cold and arrogant, while Kid's team was military style and ruthless. When the two teams collided, it was like two straight men falling in love. It would be strange if their relationship improved. PG and Jock's relationship was okay. Other than that, PG had a good relationship with BALC, SKR. 1, and AIN, teams that liked to cause trouble always had a good relationship with each other. Xianxia had always been curious. Who was Xianxia's father? Why had he never heard him mention it? Because he was afraid that he would ask something he shouldn't. Jingyu had been holding back from asking. In the end, he didn't even need to ask. The answer came right to him. 2 months after the couple got married, Xian bought a game company that was on the verge of bankruptcy. Then Fei told Jingyu, "This is my dad's company." Jingyu, huh? Fei, back then, my father's company was also on the verge of bankruptcy. My mother wanted to buy it, but my father refused. In order to keep the company running, he hid the fact that he was married and seduced my mother. Jingyu. Fei, you know what happened? My mother gave birth to me. Not only that, but my mother also helped my father so that his company could continue to operate. Jingyu, F***ck. With your mom's personality, if she knew that your dad lied to her, wouldn't she torture him to death? Fei couldn't help but laugh when he heard this. He felt that Jingyu had misunderstood Xian a little too much. My mother is a superficial person. My father is good-looking. Jingyu, what the hell, Fei, okay, let's not joke around. My mother is quite willful and self-centered. After she found out that my father lied to her, she humiliated him and cut off all contact with him. She didn't get back the money she spent and didn't care about custody at all. I know that she doesn't care about money or me. She only cares about whether she can vent her emotions. Jingyu, 0 Fei, so, if I didn't go to her back then and cling on to her so shamelessly, she probably wouldn't have acknowledged me as her son in this lifetime. What an amazing person, Jingyu commented. He paused and looked at Fei. You're amazing too. Fei raised his eyebrows. What do you mean? Jingyu, why did you go to her? Fei, very simple. Because I hate my father. Jingyu, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Fei, although my mother isn't perfect, she dares to take responsibility for her actions and dares to love and hate. So, I quite admire her. Now, my father's company is on the verge of bankruptcy and was bought out by my mother. It's his own fault. Jingyu, will you help your father? No. Fei's answer was resolute and decisive. He then said, I will only acknowledge 2 family members in my life. One is my mother, and the other is you. Hearing this, Jingyu couldn't help but laugh. Yeah, me too. A few days later, Feng Luofan and Xiaoyun announced their marriage. It was a shotgun marriage, which shocked the entire PG club. Hanling jumped up on the spot. Coach my ass. I want to fight you one-on-one. Yiheng hurriedly pulled him back. Calm down, calm down. If you beat the coach until he's disabled, will you still be the coach? Luo Yiming, on the other hand, was very happy. I can freeload again, right? Fei immediately poured a bucket of cold water on him. If you don't pay enough, throw it out. Xiaoyun, who was in Feng Luofan's arms, was a little shy. We're all family, there's no need to pay. Although she said this, on the day of the two's wedding, everyone who attended the wedding consciously paid their money and sent their blessings. Unlike Fei and Jingyu's wedding, Feng Luofan and Xiaoyun's wedding had a lot of people. Almost everyone in the esports industry came. The group of people gathered for a lively night. Yiheng couldn't help but sigh. Weddings in China are still the best. Only here can there be a wedding atmosphere. Fei looked at Jingyu. Then should we do it again in China? Jingyu shook his head. No need, I don't like crowds. Yiheng, little Jingyu is still so antisocial? You should go to crowded places more often. The world is so big, there are so many people better than Brother Fei. Fei glared at him. Shut up. Yiheng glared back. Don't think you're fierce just because your eyes are big. I'm also a PG kid, super fierce. Ha 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 ha. Luo Yiming, who was on the side, burst out laughing. Yezi, I don't mean to say this, but you two are staring at each other like a tiger staring at a mouse. Yiheng, who are you calling a mouse? I'll beat you up. Han Lang, who was on the side, didn't say anything at first. Later, he drank too much and started chatting with everyone. He had a crush on Xiaoyun, but because they hadn't really dated, the blow was still within his tolerance range. He said, I've decided, I'm going to find a girlfriend. Luo Yiming, go Pikachu. Yi Hong, go Pikachu. I'll continue to live my wonderful single life. After the wedding, everyone went back to their own homes and found their mothers. Jingyu suddenly had the idea of going to her and Qin Fei's wedding room. Qin Fei, of course, agreed without hesitation and got someone to drive them there. There weren't many things in the wedding room, and it was a lot quieter than the house they rented. However, almost every room was hung with their wedding photos. Jingyu stepped into the bedroom and looked at the wedding photo hanging above the bed. She looked at herself with makeup and couldn't help but say, I'm so good looking. When Qin Fei heard these words, he laughed on the spot. When did you become so narcissistic? Jingyu, I'm just stating a fact, I'm really good looking. What do you think? In the wedding photo hanging in the bedroom, Jingyu was wearing a black wedding dress and Qin Fei next to her was wearing a white suit. Jingyu looked mysterious and sexy. Yes, you're good looking. Qin Fei smiled and hugged Jingyu from behind. He kissed him gently on the ear and said in a hoarse voice, but I still like you without makeup. Feeling Qin Fei's hand moving down, Jingyu relaxed and leaned back, ready to accept his caress. However, he caught a glimpse of a thick photo album on the desk. He froze for a moment and walked over almost instinctively. Huh? Is this our wedding photo album? Obviously, it was. This thick photo album contained a large number of photos taken in M country. There were wedding photos, travel photos, and it was like a honeymoon diary. The first 1/3 of the album was filled with wedding photos. Jingyu flipped to a photo of himself in a suit and Qin Fei in a wedding dress. White, red, purple, and black. He had to admit that the wedding dress was very beautiful. Any one of his wedding photos could be used as a magazine cover. It's so beautiful. He couldn't help but sigh as he flipped through the photos. He felt that he had made the right choice by choosing a wedding dress. Otherwise, he definitely wouldn't have been able to take such amazing photos. Qin Fei didn't mind and said indifferently, it's mainly because you're beautiful. Jingyu smiled and continued to read. Qin Fei raised his eyebrows, seeing that the album was so thick. In the end, he couldn't wait for Jingyu to finish flipping through it. He pulled him into his arms and kissed his face. Stop looking. Go to sleep and look at it again. Oh, can I sleep after looking at it? Jingyu said as he continued to flip through the album. Oh, can I sleep while looking at it? Qin Fei said as he unbuckled Jingyu's belt. Jingyu was confused. Before he could react, Qin Fei's hand reached in. Jingyu quickly grabbed it and said, stop fooling around. I'm almost done. Look at yours. Although Qin Fei said that, his hands never stopped moving. In the end, Jingyu gave up and was pressed down on the bed by Qin Fei. After a while, he reached out to the open album on the table. Let me continue looking. Qin Fei was speechless. He hugged him and kissed his forehead. Okay, I'll get it for you. In the end, Qin Fei got the album and helped Jingyu flip through a few pages. Then, he heard steady breathing. Jingyu had fallen asleep. Qin Fei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He gently closed the album and put it back on the table. Then, he hugged Jingyu with one hand and covered him with the blanket with the other. He turned off the lights and went to sleep. Good night. This time, they didn't do it too intensely, so they woke up the next morning. When Qin Fei woke up, he saw Jingyu running around the house. He didn't know what he was doing. Qin Fei got off the bed and chased after him. What are you doing? When he saw Qin Fei, Jingyu immediately let out a sigh of relief. He walked a few steps in Qin Fei's direction and laid on top of him. The house is so big. I'm lost. Qin Fei was speechless. F*ck, he actually found him cute. Jingyu said, I want to make breakfast for you, but I can't find the kitchen. Qin Fei said, how can you be so cute? Jingyu said, huh? Qin Fei held back his laughter and patted Jingyu's head. It's okay. Let's go out and eat together after you shower. Jingyu thought about it and felt that it was a good idea. He nodded and said, okay. Qin Fei said, oh right. Forget it, it's okay. Qin Fei originally wanted to say that Jing Yu's grandfather's Qian corporation had been taken over by Qi Xian's people and that they were super rich now. However, he felt that Jing Yu wouldn't be interested in this matter, so he didn't say anything. Jing Yu was indeed not interested in this matter. However, he was a little concerned about Qin Fei's hesitation. Fortunately, his attention was quickly attracted by the photo album. While Qin Fei was showering, he flipped through the entire photo album in one go. Then, he let out a long sigh of relief and hugged the photo album to his chest with a smile. He suddenly remembered that the first thing that Qin Fei gave him was a photo album. A photo album with his signature. At that time, just like now, he held the whole album in his arms as if he were holding the whole world. "Brother Fei, you are my whole world," Jing Yu muttered to himself. Unexpectedly, Qin Fei happened to hear this sentence when he walked in. Qin Fei laughed. "Idiot, you are my whole world too." Love was mutual. It was the result of two people being attracted to each other. There was no such thing as one person giving, and the other receiving unconditionally. Qin Fei said, "Jing Yu, I love you. I will treat you well for the rest of my life." Jing Yu put down the photo album, got up, and threw himself into Qin Fei's arms. Okay, I believe end of chapter 160. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video to support the channel.